the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 601 Lin Yi's Headache. Moreover, after running out tonight, he didn't even say hello to the young lady. Would she be looking for him? Thinking of this, Lin Yi hurriedly returned to reality from the jade pendant's space. Lin Yi stretched and checked his body. He had almost died before, but now he had recovered to a perfect state, full of energy and no abnormality in his body. Only the shocking bloodstains on his clothes were a little scary. Lin Yi quickly climbed out of bed and opened the door, but was suddenly stunned. Because he saw the young lady and Tang Yun sitting in the living room. Why were they all here? Lin Yi, are you okay? Why is it so serious? Chu Mengyao stood up first and walked to Lin Yi's side, looking at him gently, her beautiful eyes full of tenderness. Lin Yi couldn't help but shudder at Chu Mengyao's tone. Is this the young lady? Why such a tone? Could it be that he hasn't truly woken up yet, and is still dreaming? Chu Mengyao, for some reason, unconsciously fell into her element in Tang Yun's presence, acting like a gentle wife, concerned for Lin Yi. Seeing the pool of blood on Lin Yi's clothes, Chu Mengyao became even more furious with Tang Yun. Lin Yi, you're injured because he's helping you get revenge. Lin Yi, I'm sorry. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't be injured. Tang Yun, unwilling to be outdone, ran over and immediately grabbed Lin Yi's arm. How could Chu Mengyao allow herself to be so close to Lin Yi? She also grabbed Lin Yi's other arm. Chen Yushu, on the other hand, threw herself into Lin Yi's arms. Brother Arrow, we're so worried about you. Are you okay? If not, let's go home. Duh. Lin Yi was startled by Chen Yushu. What? Go home? Did Xiaoshuo have a fever? Or was she acting horny? Lin Yi, she said she's your fiancé? Chu Mengyao is the first wife, and Chen Yushu is the second wife. Tang Yun was torn. Although she was worried about Lin Yi's injury, she still had to ask the questions on her mind. Huh? First wife, second wife, Lin Yi's eyes widened. What the hell was going on? That's right, Lin Yi, tell me, are you my personal bodyguard? The one who helps me deal with those annoying flies. Chu Mengyao felt a little guilty. Lin Yi had woken up, and her lie was almost exposed, but she was unwilling to admit defeat in front of Tang Yun, so she asked. This, Lin Yi looked at Chu Mengyao, wondering what was wrong with her today. Why was she so aggressive? They said you kissed often, and 3 times, although Tang Yun thought the term 3 times was not elegant, she didn't care about it anymore. She wanted to know the truth. When did you kiss? 3 times? There's no way to explain it. Lin Yi sweet dropped, thinking to himself, I want to kiss 3 times, but who would kiss me? Brother Arrow, how dare you say you haven't kissed me and Sister Yao Iao? You kissed Sister Yao Iao so hard that she vomited, Chen Yushu said. And didn't you kiss me on the beach too? Really? Tang Yun looked at Lin Yi with a bit of grievance. Lin Yi suddenly felt a headache. He didn't know why Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu had gotten in trouble with Tang Yun, but it was obvious that the two had made up some fabricated stories to deceive Tang Yun. Oh my god. That was an indirect kiss, okay? You drank the drink I had, and that counts as a kiss. Lin Yi was speechless. If you can get pregnant that way, the streets would be full of pregnant women. And Xiaoshu, I was giving you CPR, how could that be a kiss? Tang Yun was delighted after hearing Lin Yi's explanation. Although this explanation proved that Lin Yi really had some relationship with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, at least Lin Yi cared about her and gave her an explanation. Regardless of whether it was true or not, Tang Yun was very happy. Chu Mengyao blushed after Lin Yi revealed the truth, but Chen Yushu, on the other hand, remained nonchalant. Brother Arrow, why don't you just cooperate with us? Cooperate with what? Lin Yi gave a wry smile. Why are you and Yao Iao here too? Sister Yao Iao heard you were injured, so she brought me to see you. She really cares about you. When can we go home and have some fun? Chen Yushu replied calmly. What do you mean by fun? How shameless. Lin Yi already said it has nothing to do with you. Can you please stop pestering others like this? Tang Yun was a little anxious. Why was Chen Yushu acting like this? Wasn't this seduction? Even if Lin Yi didn't like them, wouldn't it be a mistake to keep trying? Tang Yun knew how beautiful Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu were. Oh, Are you jealous? If you can't have some fun yourself, don't you want us to? Chen Yushu smiled at Tang Yun. Why can't I? I'm 2 for 1, Tang Yun, anxious, blurted out her words. Lin Yi was really confused. What day was it today? What happened? How could Tang Yun, who is usually very obedient, suddenly become so hot-tempered? And the eldest lady, who is always aloof, also got involved? As for Chen Yushu, Lin Yi didn't think there was anything wrong, because she was usually like this, so he was used to it. Ah, my head hurts so much. Lin Yi slapped his forehead and fell straight to the ground. The headache was real, but not that serious. The fainting was just fake. However, Lin Yi's fall scared Tang Yun, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Only then did they remember that Lin Yi had just woken up from his injury, and they didn't know if he had recovered. Why were they still arguing here? Weren't they angry at Lin Yi? Tang Yun and Chu Mengyao were just about to go see how Lin Yi was doing when they heard Chen Yushu say, "Oh, Brother Arrow, why are your eyes moving? Are you pretending to faint?" Lin Yi had been joking with him, and his pretense was so anxious that it didn't look like it. Chen Yushu had discovered his flaw, so he simply stopped pretending. "Yao, Zia Oshu, you two, stop making trouble for now." "What? Are you annoyed by me?" Chu Mengyao's face turned cold, and she was obviously unhappy. "Lin Yi, come home with us right now." Chu Mengyao was really embarrassed. Lin Yi's request for them to stop making trouble meant, didn't he mean to stop causing trouble between him and Tang Yun? With her arrogant personality, how could she tolerate this? Oh, it's time to go home and play for the 3rd time. Chen Yushu clapped her hands happily. "Yao, you two go back first, let me have a word with Tang Yun," Lin Yi said with a wry smile. "Lin Yi, who are they to you? Why would you listen to them?" Tang Yun was completely desperate today. "Aren't you ashamed of yourself for stealing someone else's boyfriend?" Chapter 602. The eldest lady declares war. Lin Yi looked at Tang Yun, who was gritting her teeth. He knew that he had really pushed the little girl to the limit today, otherwise she wouldn't be like this. "Of course Lin Yi has to listen to me." Chu Mengyao finally gained the upper hand. "Lin Yi, my dad is still waiting for you at home. Come home with us right now." Lin Yi was suddenly embarrassed. Chu Pengzhan came? Logically, Chu Pengzhan was his employer. If he asked him to go back, he really couldn't help but go back. But he still had to explain something to Tang Yun, right? "You can go back, but I'll explain it to Tang Yun." Lin Yi said this with such force that Chu Mengyao wanted to refute, but she couldn't. She couldn't help but pout and stare at Lin Yi with hatred. Chu Mengyao was so angry that she thought to herself, "Damn it, Lin Yi, why are you so arrogant to me? I'll dock your salary." Tang Yun smiled. Regardless of Lin Yi's relationship with him, Lin Yi cared about her the most. So, this round, she won. Lin Yi walked over to Tang Yun and whispered, "I'm fine. I want to go back with him. Yao's dad has some connections with my old man. I came to Songshan to attend school under orders from my elders, secretly caring for Yao. She's my employer now, so I have to obey her orders." "Oh," Tang Yun said, aggrieved. "Then why didn't you tell me before?" Besides, it was obvious that Lin Yi was living with them now. Even if he didn't like these two beauties, he'd surely develop feelings for them over time, right? An unprecedented sense of crisis gripped Tang Yun's heart. "Let Fatty Lai take you home. I'll come find you tomorrow." Lin Yi pulled Tang Yun's hand. "Yes," Tang Yun nodded sweetly, but then glanced at Chu Mengyao warily. "Lin Yi, we should go." Chu Mengyao knew that Lin Yi must have told her about her identity, which made her feel ashamed. She had just shamelessly claimed to be Lin Yi's fiancé, but now it was a joke. "Then go ahead. Don't keep your employer waiting." Tang Yun smiled generously at Lin Yi. She knew a girl shouldn't be too petty, especially when facing a formidable opponent like Chu Mengyao. Although Lin Yi explained Chu Mengyao's relationship with him, Tang Yun, with her womanly instincts, knew Chu Mengyao must be attracted to Lin Yi, and so was Chen Yushu. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been so confrontational, nor would they have said anything so damaging to their reputations. However, Tang Yun was a smart girl and pointed out Chu Mengyao's identity, essentially telling her, "I know who you are, so there's no need for me to compete with you." Chu Mengyao pursed her lips, pulled Chen Yushu up, and headed out of the living room. But as they passed by Tang Yun, she paused and whispered in her ear, "I've decided. From today on, I'll officially pursue Lin Yi." I'll be the first to get the upper hand. If you get dumped, don't cry. Oh, if you want to cry, I can even make you his second concubine, Chen Yushu said with a smile. Tang Yun, however, remained silent, standing there, brimming with confidence. She didn't believe Lin Yi would dump her. With a faint smile, she half-jokingly said, "You're so willing to be Lin Yi's concubine, I wouldn't mind as long as Lin Yi agrees." Lin Yi's hearing was astonishing. He naturally heard everything the three of them said. Lin Yi had only one thought at that moment: the eldest daughter had gone crazy. Tang Yun had gone crazy too. However, Lin Yi remained silent. Following Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu out of Fatty Lie's villa, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu got into their Audi S5, albeit in the backseat. Lin Yi glanced at his car and realized he'd have to pick it up tomorrow. The eldest daughter clearly wanted him to drive, so he had no choice but to get behind the wheel. Seeing Lin Yi leave, Tang Yun breathed a sigh of relief, collapsing into Liu Xinwen's arms as if exhausted. Just now, Tang Yun had been gritting her teeth, her only thought, not to show weakness in front of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Although she didn't have their background, Lin Yi still liked her. This is also the reason why Tang Yun gritted her teeth and fought to the end. However, Tang Yun was a girl who had never experienced such things. Fortunately, Chu Mengyao had no experience either. Coupled with the fool Chen Yushu, it was difficult for the three of them to determine the winner. However, after Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu left, Tang Yun finally couldn't hold on any longer. She was not the kind of person who liked to intrigue. She had just used up all her strength. "Yunyan, what's wrong with you?" Liu Xinwen was startled and asked anxiously. "Nothing," Tang Yun smiled bitterly, "I'm just a little tired." "Xinwen, do you think what I did just now was not very good? Does Lin Yi think that I am the kind of petty and jealous woman?" "No. Yunyan, your performance just now was beyond my expectation. It was too fierce. I almost didn't recognize you," Liu Xinwen said admiringly. "Just say it in a sarcastic way." Tang Yun breathed a sigh of relief after hearing Liu Xinwen's words. She had been so bold earlier, challenging Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Now thinking back, even Tang Yun couldn't believe it. It was her. "Haha, by the way, Yunyan, how far have you and Lin Yi progressed? Did you actually sleep together?" Liu Xinwen had been wanting to ask this question for a long time, but now she finally asked. "Of course not. I lied to them, and who told them to lie to me?" Tang Yun's pretty face flushed, and she said a little embarrassedly. "You scared me to death, you damn Yunyan. I thought you'd lost your virginity so quickly." "It's too fast." Liu Xinwen also breathed a sigh of relief. "By the way, how far have you progressed?" "Nothing, just holding hands." Tang Yun returned to her previous self. If she were asked to speak out boldly like she had just now, she would definitely not dare. Just holding hands, Liu Xinwen was a little disappointed. She didn't expect the two to make such slow progress. "By the way, Yunyan, you have to be careful with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. They are obviously in the same group, and they want to pursue Lin Yi, so they have an advantage over you. Although you and Lin Yi have confirmed your relationship, they are buy one get one free, so they can play with 3 batches. Tang Yun couldn't help but give Liu Xinwen a blank look. "Ah, Xinwen, what are you talking about? Lin Yi doesn't like to play such disgusting things." "How do you know? You don't understand men," Liu Xinwen said angrily. "That 3rd batch is said to be very attractive. You have to guard against it. That Chen Yushu is obviously a tiger girl, she dares to do anything. Don't let others really snatch Lin Yi away, you will regret it." Chapter 603 After the Injury. No, Tang Yun said, but she was secretly worried. Liu Xinwen's words made her feel shy, but not unreasonable. Well, she must find an opportunity to ask Lin Yi about it. "Speaking of tiger girls, who is as fierce as you? How do you say my tiger is different from hers?" Although Liu Xinwen had a rough personality, she had a subtle mind and a good eye for people. Her tiger is that innocent and cute tiger, but I think she's probably pretending. Either she really is like this, very silly and naive, very pure and ambiguous, or she's very lustful and smart. What a mess. Tang Yun's face flushed slightly when she heard this. "Why should I care so much about others? Haven't you heard the saying? There are no couples that can't be separated, there are only mistresses who don't work hard," Liu Xinwen said angrily. "Yunyan, you have to be on guard." Okay, I get it." Tang Yun did take Liu Xinwen's words to heart, but what could she do about it? It all depended on Lin Yi's attitude. Tang Yun and Liu Xinwen were taken back to the hospital by Fatty Li's wife. Tang Yun's headache hadn't hurt at all. Just as Lin Yi had said, the bandages would be removed overnight. Before leaving, Fatty Li gave Tang Yun another bottle of painkillers. Tang Zhicheng had also been injured, so he'd used more. Meanwhile, in the private quarters behind the Jelly Fuyan bar, Zhao Kaibing and Zhu Bo lay in hospital beds. Zhao Kaibing had woken up and was crying out in pain. Zhu Bo, on the other hand, closed his eyes and practiced Qigong to heal his injuries. Young Master Bing, please be patient. The Medicine King is on his way and should be here soon, Li Shihu sighed. He hadn't expected Lin Yi to be so ruthless. Before, Li Shihu had considered himself a somewhat prominent figure in Songshan City, someone everyone respected. But after meeting Lin Yi, Li Shihu realized that he was nothing in Lin Yi's eyes. Lin Yi never even looked at him straight in the eye. Damn it! Who is this Lin Yi? He actually dared to break my legs. What did my father say? Did he send anyone to deal with him? Zhao Kaibing found it really hard to swallow this breath. He just came to Songshan City, and before he could make any progress, Lin Yi gave him a show of force. Not only did he knock down the building, but he also broke his legs. How could he survive in Songshan City in the future? If he didn't kill Lin Yi, how could he have the face to stay in Songshan City? The head of the family is already investigating Lin Yi's identity, Li Shihu said with a wry smile, but I heard from Uncle Zhu that Lin Yi is a Xuan level master. I'm afraid this identity is not low for the boss. Xuan level? Lin Yi is Xuan level. Zhao Kaibing was stunned for a moment. He had been unconscious before, so he didn't know what Uncle Zhu said, but when he heard the news this time, he was also shocked. Uncle Zhu was injured, but he didn't ask much, because his legs were also in so much pain. How could he care about others? I thought Zhu Bo's injuries were caused by a bulldozer or trencher, so I didn't think much of it. Yes, early Xuanji. At this time, Zhu Bo, who had been keeping his eyes closed, spoke up. Young Master Bing, Lin Yi is also seriously injured. If he doesn't have the natural resources to replenish his body, he'll probably not die this time, but he'll have no strength left. It depends on what he chooses, sacrifice his life to preserve his strength, or dissipate his power and become an ordinary person. Oh? In other words, if Lin Yi doesn't have the natural resources to replenish his body, now is the best time to deal with him? And he's already injured and no longer has the strength of the Xuanji. Li Shihu was a sinister person and immediately understood Zhu Bo's intentions. Haha, his situation is not much better than mine. Even if he has natural treasures to nourish him, and he has masters like the Medicine King to treat him, it will take more than half a year for him to recover to his peak strength, and this is still an ideal state, Zhu Bo said. In fact, even if there is a slight mistake, or the natural treasures are out of supply, he will not be able to recover his strength so quickly, and it is even hard to say whether he can recover to his previous peak state. That's great. Let's deal with him before his strength recovers and leave him with no ability to fight back. Li Shihu has wanted to deal with Lin Yi for a long time, but he has never found a breakthrough. Now that he has learned such news, how can he let him go? And the most important thing is to avenge Bing Xiao, which is just killing two birds with one stone. Let's wait for the decision of the head of the family. Zhu Bo is a person who absolutely obeys the family's orders, so whether to deal with Lin Yi or not is up to Zhao Guangyan. He just gave some of his own suggestions. Li Shihu nodded. Indeed, without Zhao Guangyan's order, it is impossible to take the next step for the time being. We can only wait for the King of Medicine to come and make a decision. Lin Yi drove the car carefully. The eldest lady's face was very cold, and I don't know what she was thinking. But Chen Yashu still looked silly, playing with her fingers there, didn't feel the strange atmosphere at all, or she felt it, but it didn't affect her at all. Sister Yao, are you going to officially start pursuing Brother Arrow? Chen Yashu asked after playing with her fingers. Lin Yi broke out in a sweat. When Chu Mengyao said this before, she just whispered it to Tang Yun. Although Lin Yi had sharp ears and eyes, he could pretend that he didn't hear it. But now that Chen Yashu said it, he felt a little embarrassed. The eldest lady wants to pursue him? Lin Yi didn't quite believe it. Who knows what was wrong with her just now that made her say this, but Lin Yi didn't take it seriously. Chu Mengyao's expression suddenly froze, and she glared at Chen Yashu angrily. Then her expression returned to calm, and she said in a very indifferent tone, Lin Yi, don't listen to what Xiaoshu said. I quarreled with Tang Yun before, and I said it because I was angry for a while. You are my follower, but you were hurt because of Tang Yun. To be honest, I don't like her very much. That's why I said that on purpose to piss her off. Don't take it seriously, I know, I didn't take it seriously. Lin Yi smiled and nodded, thinking that this is what a young lady should do. A hint of disappointment flashed in Chu Mengyao's eyes, and she felt a little bitter in her heart. This was the first time she announced that she wanted to pursue a boy, but he didn't take it seriously. In the future, if something like this happens again, you must tell me first, understand? You are my person, my follower, so you are responsible for my personal safety. Chu Mengyao continued. What if I get into danger? What if Xiaoshu gets trapped in the iron fence again? When we need you, you are injured. Chapter 604 The Lost Miss. Okay, Lin Yi nodded with a wry smile, thinking to himself, is Xiaoshu really that stupid? Could she be pinched a second time? Oh, you can play with the fence when you have nothing to do in the future, Chen Yushu said immediately. Lin Yi almost drove the car into the roadside gutter. From now on, if you and Tang Yun have any intimate actions, you must report to me in advance. Chu Mengyao said this for some reason. This is not necessary, right? I have a private life too, Lin Yi said embarrassedly. Of course, Chu Mengyao said firmly. What if you want to sleep with Tang Yun, and I'm in danger? What if you can stop? So you must report it in advance. Sleeping, Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Do you have to report this too? Of course. One is to monitor your private life. Xiaoshu and I are such pure people. If your private life is too decadent, I will consider firing you, Chu Mengyao said seriously. Okay, Lin Yi nodded. The eldest lady was in a rage today, and Lin Yi didn't want to provoke her. Regardless, he agreed first. So, Sister Yao, are we still going home to play for the third time? Chen Yushu was disappointed to see Chu Mengyao backing out at the last minute. What kind of play? Chu Mengyao glared at Chen Yushu. Why are you so eager to play? If you want to play, go play by yourself. I can't play by myself, Chen Yushu said with some distress. Sister Yao doesn't keep her word. Okay, Xiaoshu, don't talk about this. You're still young and can't play. You can wait until you grow up, okay? Chu Mengyao was giving Chen Yushu a headache. Oh, okay then. When I grow up, you'll play with me, Chen Yushu finally smiled. Okay, Chu Mengyao replied speechlessly. Lin Yi could only smile bitterly. He really couldn't get a word in on this matter. Is Uncle Chu at home? Lin Yi changed the subject, not knowing how to revisit the previous conversation. Daddy invited you to dinner, and you kept him waiting for over 10 hours, Chu Mengyao pointed out the car window. It's almost dawn. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll explain when we get back, Lin Yi said with a wry smile. HMPH, Chu Mengyao snorted. Drive faster. We have a banquet at home. Lin Yi didn't say anything, but he increased the speed of the car. Chu Mengyao's Audi S5 was already very fast, a sports car. It was the middle of the night and there were almost no cars on the road, so Lin Yi immediately increased the speed to the limit. Chu Mengyao didn't react and was startled. Chen Yushu, on the other hand, was dancing with joy. Oh, so cool, a roller coaster. Chu Mengyao was speechless. Chen Yushu's nerves lacked the fear factor, right? How could she not know what terror was? In a blink of an eye, Lin Yi parked the car in front of Chu Mengyao's villa. Hearing the sound of a car, Chu Pengzhan and Uncle Fu ran out. Before, Uncle Fu and Chu Pengzhan followed to Fatty Lai's villa, waited for a while, called Chu Mengyao, confirmed Lin Yi's injuries, and then went back home to wait. After all, it was not appropriate for Chu Pengzhan to wait at Fatty Lai's house. Zai, are you okay? Chu Pengzhan looked at Lin Yi who walked down from the driver's seat with some surprise. Chu Mengyao said before that Lin Yi's injuries were very serious and he even vomited blood, but now, except for a pool of bright blood on Lin Yi's shirt, Lin Yi's face was rosy and he didn't look like he was injured at all. If it weren't for the pool of blood on his clothes, Chu Pengzhan would even think that Lin Yi had not been injured at all. Only this pool of blood could prove what happened before. It's okay. I'm a doctor myself, Lin Yi shrugged. Thank you, Uncle Chu, for your concern. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. It's okay to wait a little longer, as long as you're okay, Chu Pengzhan said sincerely. I was incredibly worried before. Although Elder Lin asked you to help the Chu family, if anything really happened to you, how would I explain it to Elder Lin? I was reckless this time and caused trouble for Uncle Chu, Lin Yi said embarrassedly. However, despite this, Lin Yi couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't do the same thing again. If things went back to before he went to Zhao Kaibing, Lin Yi would still do the same thing. It's okay. The food's ready, but it's a little cold. Let's have a couple of drinks to calm you down and thank you for saving Yao Yao and Xiaoshu, Chu Pengzhan said. They entered the villa. Lin Yi showered and changed into casual clothes. Uncle Fu had already heated up the food, while Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu sat in the dining room. Chu Pengzhan saw Lin Yi come out and pulled him over to sit. Chu Mengyao sat quietly at the dining table, lost in thought, reflecting on her unusual behavior today. Was this still her? She'd actually been jealous of Tang Yun? And she'd even proudly announced to her that she was pursuing Lin Yi? How could this be possible? Absolutely not. She had to be dreaming. But Chu Mengyao pinched herself, realizing she wasn't dreaming, but in reality. Thinking back to the past, she blushed. Was she pursuing Lin Yi? Letting Lin Yi pursue her was more like letting him pursue her. But if he did pursue her, would she accept? Should she reject him outright, or give him a chance? Chu Mengyao felt a faint sense of anticipation, a touch of shyness, and mostly a sense of bewilderment. Today's events had been beyond the young lady's capacity to handle. Everything she'd said and done had been driven by rage, almost without thinking. Thinking about it now, Chu Mengyao blushed. Yao Yao, Xiaoshu, for this first glass of wine, please toast Lin Yi and thank him for saving you, Chu Pengzhan said to Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu after they sat down. Oh, okay, Chen Yashu raised the drink in front of her. But Chu Mengyao was still in a daze, and seemed not to have heard what Chu Pengzhan said. Yao Yao, Chu Pengzhan frowned. What happened to his daughter? She has been a little absent-minded since just now, and he didn't know what she was thinking. Ah. Daddy, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? Chu Mengyao came back to her senses and looked at Chu Pengzhan a little confused. You and Xiaoshu toast Lin Yi and thank him for saving you, Chu Pengzhan had to repeat his words again. After all, it was very late, and Chu Mengyao hadn't slept all night. It was normal for her to be a little dazed occasionally. Oh, okay, Chu Mengyao blushed slightly, picked up the wineglass, but didn't dare to look at Lin Yi. She felt a little annoyed. Can you work so hard for me? If you put aside your identity as an employer. Chapter 605 The young lady has something on her mind. Brother Arrow, thank you for saving me and Sister Yao Yao. If Sister Yao Yao wants to marry me, I have no objection, Chen Yashu said innocently, blinking. Xiaoshu, my dad is here, what are you talking about? Chu Mengyao was startled, glaring at Chen Yashu as if someone had stepped on her tail. Chen Yashu stuck out her tongue. She usually joked too much, so she hadn't paid attention today. Chu Mengyao reminded her that Chu Pengzhan was there, and she felt lucky. She almost said buy one get one free, otherwise she would have been embarrassed. Chu Pengzhan smiled faintly, but he didn't show any emotion. Instead, he said, having Xiaoshu liven up the atmosphere at home, it won't be lonely. Yao Yao, it's your turn, Lin Yi saved her, so how could Chu Mengyao not be grateful? No one is heartless. But asking the eldest lady to toast Lin Yi made her feel a little embarrassed. Before, she was the one who was cold and wanted to drive Lin Yi out, right? Although she had reluctantly accepted the fact that he and she were living together, if she offered him a toast, wouldn't that be a concession? How would she ever give him a hard time again? But Daddy was staring at her again, forcing Chu Mengyao to raise her glass. Instead of toasting Lin Yi, she poured herself a drink, took a sip, and said, thank you. Lin Yi didn't care. The young lady, cold on the outside but warm on the inside, was just that. He too raised his glass and smiled. It's my job. Seeing Lin Yi's indifferent expression, Chu Mengyao felt a little annoyed. I'm the young lady, okay? I'm your employer, and I'm toasting you, so why don't you seem happy at all? When have I ever toasted another guy? But she couldn't say it out loud. Chu Mengyao could only sulk, listing all of Lin Yi's shortcomings, cursing him in her heart. Damn Lin Yi, can't you be nicer to me? Am I any worse than Tang Yun? Even if I was, what about Chen Yashu? The two of us together, weren't we attractive? You just go out and flirt with other girls, how despicable. At first, Chu Mengyao thought this way, naturally not because she had any feelings for Lin Yi. She felt angry because Lin Yi ignored her and Xiaoshu. This was something a proud young lady couldn't tolerate. Why couldn't either of us compare to Tang Yun? Are you blind, or are we truly unattractive? Yao, how is Xiaoi doing in school? He's a transfer student. If he's struggling, you and Xiaoshu should help him. Chu Pengzhan casually chatted about family matters. Huh? What? Chu Mengyao was mentally cursing Lin Yi when she suddenly saw her father looking at her, as if asking a question, though she couldn't quite hear the question. Haha, Yao, why are you always so absent-minded? What are you thinking about? Chu Pengzhan asked with a chuckle. No, I'm not thinking about anything. Chu Mengyao blushed slightly. Oh, Uncle Chu, I know what Sister Yao is thinking. Chen Yushu held out her hand, like a student about to answer a question. Oh? Xiaoshu, then tell me, what is Yao thinking about? Chu Pengzhan was in a good mood today, so he asked Chen Yushu with a smile. Sister Yao is thinking about love, Chen Yushu said seriously. Thinking about love, Chu Pengzhan was slightly stunned, and then he felt a little amused. Why is Yao thinking about love, Xiaoshu? I will kill you. Chu Mengyao didn't want to admit that Chen Yushu had hit the nail on the head, so she was a little angry. Besides, this is not thinking about love, she just wants Lin Yi to pay more attention to her. How can this be considered as thinking about love? Oh, Sister Yao killed someone. Chen Yushu was so scared that she ran away. Chu Pengzhan was used to the quarrels between the two girls. They had been fighting since they were young, and Chen Yushu dared to say anything, so Chu Pengzhan also understood her character. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and shook his head. That was Chen Yushu. She was always like this in any situation. It was impossible for Chu Mengyao to really get up and chase after Chen Yushu. Chen Yushu was just such an impetuous person, so it was nothing. She was naturally much more stable. Now that her daddy was still at the banquet, how could she get up and leave? Daddy, don't listen to Xiaoshu's nonsense. She is just thinking about love, Chu Mengyao explained with a blushing face, fearing that her father would misunderstand. Chu Pengzhan was slightly stunned. If Chu Mengyao didn't explain, it would be fine. But this explanation made Chu Pengzhan a little suspicious. If Chen Yushu was joking about this kind of thing, then according to Chu Mengyao's usual personality, she would never explain. But today, she explained, and blushed. This made Chu Pengzhan discover some clues, but he didn't plan to ask about it at the table. He planned to talk about it privately later. By the way, Zai, I heard Zhong Pinliang had one of his kidneys removed. What's going on? Is it related to you? Chu Pengzhan shifted the topic to Zhong Pinliang. Zhong Fabei's son had lost a kidney, a major event. Although Zhong Fabei didn't want to publicize it, everyone with some connections in Songshan city had heard the news. They all sighed, wondering what kind of person Zhong Pinliang had offended to deserve such cruel treatment. No, but it was probably Xuanyuan who did it. Lin Yi told Xuanyuan about Zhong Pinliang's kidnapping of Chu Mengyao, and the fact that Zhong Pinliang's kidney was removed the next day. It was undoubtedly Xuanyuan's doing. But what Lin Yi didn't expect was why Xuanyuan chose to remove Zhong Pinliang's kidney. Recalling the organ trafficking ring Songshan had mentioned a few days ago, and the fact that he had personally dismantled the kidney smuggling ring's base, Lin Yi began to wonder if Xuanyuan was connected to this criminal gang. Xuanyuan, Chu Pengzhan was slightly stunned after hearing this, but nodded. It is possible, Uncle Chu. What is the background of this Xuanyuan's family? It seems that they have some connection with your family, Lin Yi asked. The Yin family used to be a powerful family in Songshan city, with a large business. Our two families also have some business dealings and have a good relationship with each other. Xuanyuan is the youngest son of the Yin family. He had a good relationship with Yao at that time, Chu Pengzhan said. They were childhood sweethearts. Who is his childhood sweetheart? Chu Mengyao was anxious and suddenly interrupted to explain, as if she was afraid that others would misunderstand. But after she finished speaking, Chu Mengyao also felt that she was a little puzzled. Why explain this? So what if they were childhood sweethearts? Chapter 606, Can't Drive Him Away. Haha, they were just childhood playmates anyway. Chu Pengzhan gave his daughter a deep look, then continued with a smile. But later, I heard that the Yin family found a powerful backer and moved to the provincial capital of Donghae. The Yin family's business was now run by their eldest son. Xuanyuan went abroad and only recently returned. Chu Mengyao glared at Lin Yi. This guy didn't seem to care about her at all. It seemed that he didn't care at all whether she and Xuanyuan were childhood sweethearts. He wasn't worried about her at all. However, what Lin Yi said next disappointed Chu Mengyao. Lin Yi didn't dwell on the topic of childhood sweethearts. Lin Yi simply nodded. Uncle Chu, have you ever heard of an organ trafficking gang? They're known as the Kidney Harvesting Group. Kidney Harvesting Group? Are you suspecting Xuanyuan has connections to this gang? Chu Pengzhan frowned. After the Yin family moved to Donghae, they started doing some semi-shady business, a departure from their previous business practices. Yet, they managed to amass a vast fortune in just a few years. I'm a bit suspicious. Why else would Xuanyuan have removed Zhong Pinliang's kidney? Lin Yi said. But it doesn't really concern us. As long as he doesn't bother us, it's fine, right? It's best to keep a distance from people like that. Chu Pengzhan nodded. By the way, Zai, how did you get injured this time? I heard Yoio say it seemed like revenge for your classmate. Chu Mengyao had called earlier, but since the details couldn't be explained clearly over the phone, Chu Pengzhan hadn't asked in detail. He had simply asked you if Lin Yi was okay. Knowing that Lin Yi was recovering from his injuries, Chu Pengzhan returned. Although he had only known Lin Yi briefly, there was no doubt that Lin Yi was a man of measure. Judging by his handling of the bank attack, the Ziguangbo incident, and the Chu Mengyao kidnapping, Lin Yi was a very calm and organized person. So, since Lin Yi chose to heal his injuries on his own instead of going to the hospital, he must have been confident, so Chu Pengzhan wasn't overly worried. Chu Mengyao had been vague at the time, simply saying that Lin Yi was injured in revenge for a female classmate, not knowing it was Lin Yi's girlfriend. Oh, I know that. Arrow, in a fit of rage, broke that soldier's leg. Chen Yushu became excited whenever she talked about violence. What a shame I didn't see Arrow's rampage in person, soldier. Chu Pengzhan was stunned, looking at Lin Yi in shock. The soldier Zai Oshu was talking about, was it Zhao Kaibing? That's him. Lin Yi nodded. How did you provoke him? Chu Pengzhan couldn't help but chuckle. Zhao Yi, this young soldier is no ordinary person. He's said to be the illegitimate son of a powerful figure, quite influential. Even Li Chihu is one of his subordinates. Uncle Chu, don't worry, this matter will never implicate you. If Zhao Kaibing finds you, just tell them to come to me, Lin Yi said flatly. Zhao Yi, what are you talking about? How can I just sit back and watch you deal with something? Chu Pengzhan, seeing Lin Yi misunderstood, said angrily. Haha, Uncle Chu, you misunderstood, Lin Yi smiled wryly. What I mean is, if they come to me, I'm confident I can handle it. If they come to you, wouldn't I have to split up and deal with them? Okay, but I won't sit back and watch either, Chu Pengzhan nodded. It was clear that Lin Yi didn't want to continue the conversation, so he didn't say anything more. After dinner, Lin Yi and Uncle Fu went to clear the dishes, while Chu Mengyao was summoned to a room by Chu Pengzhan. After all, father and daughter hadn't seen each other for a while, so they must have had some private conversations. Yoio, are you busy with your studies? Chu Pengzhan asked casually, sitting down on the sofa. Not bad, Daddy. You know, I'm not a bookworm. Studying with Zai Oshu isn't stressful, but I've had a lot more homework lately. Chu Mengyao was naturally extremely intelligent, and so was Chen Yushu. The two of them spent most of their senior year almost stress-free. That's good. Although your family can pay for you to go to any university, getting there on your own has a different meaning, Chu Pengzhan said with a nod. Yet, I know. I don't want to be looked down upon by others because of my family. Chu Mengyao said this with a hint of pride. This showed that the eldest daughter had good qualities. Although a little proud, she was different from those playboys. Some wealthy second generations are so afraid that others won't know their families are wealthy and powerful that they can't get into college, so they pay their way into it. Instead of feeling ashamed, they take pride in it, bragging about their family's prominence to everyone they meet. By the way, how's Lin Yi? Having him by your side, accompanying you through school and life, are you quite satisfied? Chu Pengzhan asked casually. Ah, Lin Yi. Chu Mengyao gritted her teeth at a mention of Lin Yi. Daddy, this guy is so hateful. Hateful? How is he hateful? Chu Pengzhan was taken aback. He's a philanderer. He was supposed to be my follower, always by my side, but he found a girlfriend at school and caused a huge uproar. Chu Mengyao said bitterly, he's not fit to be a follower. He has such a messy private life. Oh, and he just went to avenge his girlfriend. A follower who disobeys orders is guilty of the most heinous crime. Ah. So hateful. Chu Pengzhan shook his head after hearing this. It seems that Lin Yi is indeed a very hateful person. Yes, Daddy, do you think so too? Chu Mengyao was delighted to hear her father siding with her. Yes, that's right, Chu Pengzhan nodded, then said solemnly, in that case, I'll go fire him right now. How can I let such a hateful person stay here? I'll go now. Yao, wait for Daddy. With that, Chu Pengzhan stood up and turned to the door. Oh, Chu Mengyao was shocked. Fire Lin Yi? I didn't want to fire Lin Yi. I just complained to my dad and asked him to put some pressure on Lin Yi to stop him from macing around with other girls. But there was no need to kick him out directly. Thinking of this, Chu Mengyao subconsciously stood up and stopped her father. No. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 607, Leaving Him for Xiaoshu. No, Chu Pengzhan couldn't help but smile, but when he turned around, he looked surprised again. Why not? Did you say he was guilty of a heinous crime? How can such a person not be fired? Oh, because, by the way, it's not easy for Lin Yi to find a job. Otherwise, I will just be patient. Chu Mengyao suddenly had an idea and found a reason. Yes, she felt sorry for Lin Yi, so she didn't want to fire him. Isn't this a bad idea? I don't want my daughter to suffer any grievances. Chu Pengzhan waved his hand. Besides, it seems that a lot of people are looking for Lin Yi. I hired him with great difficulty before. It's okay, you don't have to worry about him. I'll fire him, and then I'll replace you with a follower tomorrow. That won't work either. Chu Mengyao was a little anxious. That won't work either? Then why? Chu Pengzhan looked at his daughter puzzled. Oh, because, by the way, although this Lin Yi is a bit hateful, Xiaoshu and I are familiar with him. Chu Mengyao finally thought of a reason. Daddy, you know, I don't like to have strangers come to my house. It's difficult for me to accept a stranger. And Lin Yi is clean and won't steal things. If I replace him with someone I don't know much about, I won't feel at ease. Haha, Yao, your worry is not unreasonable, Chu Pengzhan said with a smile, but it doesn't matter, I have thought of the best candidate. Uncle Fu has a junior brother who used to be a bodyguard. However, because his employer went abroad, he has nothing to do now. Uncle Fu introduced him to help me. This person is reliable. No problem, is that so? Chu Mengyao said instinctively. How is this bad? Chu Pengzhan asked. Oh, because, by the way, didn't I say that although I know this person inside and out, I am very repulsive to strangers. When Lin Yi first came, I couldn't adapt to him for quite a while. What if someone suddenly changes and I'm not used to it, and it affects my studies? Chu Mengyao said. Don't worry about that. Aren't you familiar with Uncle Fu? Let Uncle Fu protect you, and let his junior brother protect me. Chu Pengzhan smiled and said, you should be familiar with Uncle Fu, right? You won't reject him, right? He's watched you grow up. Uncle Fu. Chu Mengyao also felt that Uncle Fu was acceptable, but for some reason, she didn't want Lin Yi to leave, so she said, I think it should be Lin Yi. Oh? Why is it still him? Why is that? Did you say he was annoying? Chu Pengzhan was even more confused. Hey. Actually, it's because Xiaoshu has a crush on Lin Yi. If Lin Yi leaves, Xiaoshu will definitely be sad, Chu Mengyao thought. That's right, she had always wanted to keep Lin Yi from leaving because of that bitch Chen Yushu. It was no secret that she had a crush on Lin Yi. Huh? Chu Pengzhan's eyes widened. He had anticipated some reasons, but he had never expected Chu Mengyao to come up with such an excuse. Xiaoshu has a crush on Lin Yi? Why Xiaoshu? Isn't it Xiao? A father knows a daughter best. Chu Pengzhan had watched Chu Mengyao grow up, and he had observed her changes and her attitude towards Lin Yi. Intuitively, he felt his daughter might be in love with Lin Yi, but he wasn't sure, so he chose to have a private talk with her to see what she really thought. Originally, firing Lin Yi was just an excuse to test his daughter's feelings, but Chu Mengyao's excuses were getting more and more plausible, and in the end, she even brought Chen Yushu into the mix, leaving Chu Pengzhan a little confused. Xiaoshu has a crush on Lin Yi? Doesn't Lin Yi already have a girlfriend? Chu Pengzhan asked tentatively. That's right, that's why Lin Yi is hateful. He has a beautiful girl like Xiao Shu at home, but he still goes out to mess around with other girls, Chu Mengyao said with deep conviction. Daddy, don't you think he's very hateful? Well, that's right, Chu Pengzhan couldn't help but laugh. This is the fundamental reason why his daughter scolded Lin Yi, right? So, for Xiao Shu's sake, I'll just put up with it. Let's not fire him, Chu Mengyao said. But, Lin Yi already has a girlfriend. What about Xiao Shu? Chu Pengzhan asked with some doubts. In fact, he also wanted to see his daughter's attitude. Her? She's always thinking about being someone else's concubine, so it shouldn't be a big problem, Chu Mengyao said. A little wife? Chu Pengzhan shook his head. Is it true? I don't know. She's been acting crazy all day, and I don't know if it's true or not, Chu Mengyao shook her head. Daddy, just don't worry about this. Let Xiao Shu handle it herself, okay, then I'll leave it alone, Chu Pengzhan smiled and stood up. Okay, it's late. I'll be leaving now. You guys should get some rest. Even though it's the weekend, you can't stay up late. Yeah, Chu Mengyao breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, Lin Yi wouldn't be fired. Although it was the weekend, Chu Pengzhan still had work to do, so he and Uncle Fu left first. Lin Yi had cleared the dishes and had just gotten some free time when his phone rang. He pulled it out and saw it was Tang Yun calling. Hello, Tang Yun, Lin Yi answered. You're back at the hospital? Yeah, I just arrived. Mom made me eat something, and now she's gone to stay with Dad, so I called you. Tang Yun's voice was gentle, like a wife missing her husband. Haha, I'll come to see you again tomorrow. The injury on your head should be almost healed, Lin Yi said with a smile. Yet, Tang Yun touched her forehead. It really didn't hurt at all. It seemed that it had taken effect. It's so late, why don't you rest? What's the matter with calling? Lin Yi was a little confused. In the past, if there was nothing, Tang Yun would not take the initiative to call him. Are you at Chu Mengyao's house? Tang Yun hesitated and asked. Yeah, I'm here. Lin Yi did not hide it and told the truth. Oh, Tang Yun actually knew that Lin Yi must be at Chu Mengyao's house, but she couldn't help but want to confirm it. Haha, don't worry, I live downstairs and they live upstairs, Lin Yi comforted. Chapter 608 Abnormal. Well, I believe you. Although Tang Yun felt a little uncomfortable, she still chose to believe Lin Yi. If Lin Yi really had something going on with him, then it would be useless for her to stop him. If not, why was she still imagining it? I'll tell you more about it tomorrow when we meet. It's not convenient to talk on the phone today. Go to bed early. As Lin Yi spoke, he saw Chen Yashu tiptoeing towards him. Although her footsteps were light, how could she hide from Lin Yi's eyes and ears? Well, okay, Tang Yun replied obediently. Before hanging up, she suddenly mustered up the courage and said, I love you. With that, Tang Yun quickly and embarrassedly hung up the phone. Lin Yi was slightly startled, and when he saw the call had been hung up, a smile appeared on his lips. Tang Yun, is this the first time you've said that? Chen Yashu was a little disappointed. She had noticed Lin Yi was on the phone and had cautiously run over, wanting to eavesdrop. Otherwise, she would be unworthy of her title as Spy 007. But Lin Yi didn't give her a chance and quickly hung up. Chu Mengyao had just seen Chu Pengzhan and Uncle Fu off, and as she walked back from the villa after closing the gate, she saw Lin Yi put away his phone. Who are you calling? Chu Mengyao wasn't one to meddle in other people's affairs, but for some reason today, she felt compelled to ask. Tang Yun, Lin Yi replied simply. Oh, what did you talk about? Chu Mengyao asked casually. Huh? Lin Yi was stunned. The young lady was even concerned about what he and Tang Yun had said. Don't get me wrong, Chu Mengyao blushed at Lin Yi's expression. What I mean is, these are extraordinary times. There are people who want to deal with me, and there are people who want to deal with you. I just want to confirm whether the person calling was actually Tang Yun. What if it was a bad guy impersonating Tang Yun, trying to get secrets? Chu Mengyao's anxious speech was a bit incoherent. Lin Yi was even more stunned. Were these words spoken by the young lady? Why did they sound so much like Chen Yashu's? Could it be that the two of them had been together for too long and had become assimilated? But he still said, she didn't say anything, she just said she went to the hospital. Chu Mengyao didn't dare to continue asking after hearing what Lin Yi said, and said, If Tang Yun says anything suspicious in the future, you must tell me in advance. Maybe there is some conspiracy in it. For example, if Tang Yun wants to sleep with you, you must not agree. In my opinion, Tang Yun is very pure and can't do such a wanton thing casually, so there must be something wrong when things go wrong. Chu Mengyao was shocked by her own words. What a mess, she said. Well, it must be because she didn't sleep tonight and was too sleepy, so she started to say some incomprehensible things. Lin Yi was speechless, but still nodded. Everyone tonight is not normal. The king of medicine is worthy of being the king of medicine. Zhao Kaibing's legs were quickly connected, and a special medicine was applied. As for his face, it had been applied with Dr. Kang's golden medicine, so the king of medicine didn't have to worry about it. Zhu Bo's situation wasn't so good, and even Medicine King couldn't help but shake his head after seeing him. Brother Yao, how is it? Zhu Bo also saw Medicine King's dilemma. Brother Zhu, to be honest, the situation is not good, the Medicine King sighed. You were fighting against others with all your strength, and the opponent was also doing his best. At that time, that person wanted to continue to attack young Master Bing, and I had no choice but to do my best. Zhu Bo smiled bitterly and said, Brother Yao, just do your best. It doesn't matter whether you can recover to your peak condition or not, there is definitely no problem in saving your life, but to restore your strength, it depends on whether the head of the family is willing to use natural materials and treasures to nourish you. The Medicine King said, if the elixir can keep up, your strength should be restored in about half a year, but it will be difficult to break through again in this life, unless there is some adventure. I don't want to break through. It's good enough to recover. However, why should the head of the family use so many natural materials and treasures for me? Zhu Bo was also open-minded, but he was sent to the secular world to follow young Master Bing because he had no hope of breaking through. Brother Zhu, don't worry. You were injured for young Master Bing. The Patriarch won't treat you unfairly, the Medicine King said. Li Chihu has already consulted the Patriarch. I'm sure we'll have news soon. Indeed, Zhao Guanggain had received word that the Medicine King could use some of the family's elixirs to fully treat Uncle Zhu. He did so because Uncle Zhu had saved Zhao Kaibing's life at a crucial moment. If he treated Uncle Zhu unfairly, who would dare to serve his family in the future? Would that be disheartening? So, naturally, Zhao Guanggain wouldn't do such a foolish thing as abandoning a man after he had done his work. Meanwhile, there was another piece of news for Zhao Kaibing. Li Chihu excitedly ran into Zhao Kaibing's hospital room, calling out eagerly, Young Master Bing, good news? Oh? What good news? Zhao Kaibing's pain had subsided, and his mind was now preoccupied with revenge on Lin Yi. However, without news from his father, he didn't dare act rashly. Boss, I've already found out. Lin Yi has no connection to any of the hidden families. After the family wanted order was issued, no one responded. In other words, Lin Yi is not from a hidden family. Li Chihu is still used to calling Zhao Guanggain boss instead of patriarch. Because Li Chihu is one of the Zhao family's business agents in the secular world, responsible for providing wealth to the Zhao family. Because of their business, Li Chihu was used to calling Zhao Guanggain boss. Really? That's great. Since he's not from another hidden family, there won't be any pressure in dealing with him. Zhao Kaibing laughed happily after hearing this. Finally, I can kill him. Young Master Bing, don't be too happy too soon. The boss said that although he is not from another hidden family, we shouldn't touch him casually. At least we have to find out his background, Li Shihu said. For example, is he alone? Does he have other fellow brothers and so on? To avoid unnecessary trouble after killing Lin Yi, still need to investigate. A trace of impatience flashed in Zhao Kaibing's eyes. Indeed, no matter who was beaten like this, they would not give up and would want to tear the person who beat them into pieces. Zhao Kaibing is no exception. This injury made him lose his previous calmness, and his whole body was full of violent aura. Why don't you go and investigate quickly? You come here and tell me good news? Bullshit good news. Chapter 609 Li Chihu's Test. Yes, young Master Bing, I'll go to Chu Pengzhan and find out about Lin Yi's background, Li Chihu said quickly. Hurry up. If Chu Pengzhan doesn't obey, give him a lesson. We must find out Lin Yi's background as soon as possible. I can't wait to put him to death, Zhao Kaibing urged. Don't worry, young Master Bing, I know what to do. Li Shihu wiped the sweat from his forehead and nodded. Also, how is my Kaibing building? Zhao Kaibing thought of the building that Lin Yi had bulldozed, and a wave of humiliation flashed through his heart. The building he had just completed was bulldozed by Lin Yi. Isn't this a slap in the face? Not only did he lose face in front of so many wealthy children, but it also affected the progress of Kaibing real estate. How could they build a building without even an office for the group? Although the initial demolition work was not delayed, there was no staff to actually build a building. What kind of development was this? The Kaibing building is completely destroyed. There's absolutely no hope of repairing it, Li Shihui lamented. He and Jin Gubang had spent a fortune on this building, and yet, it was demolished almost immediately after it was completed. The loss was truly enormous. Damaged? You can't rebuild it if it's destroyed? Now, immediately, rebuild it for me. I want to see a brand new Kaibing building before I can leave the ward. Zhao Kaibing grew anxious. Without the Kaibing building, he'd be utterly humiliated. Young Master Bing, how can this building be built so quickly? Are you kidding me? A towering building rises from the ground. Rome wasn't built in a day, Li Shihui said with a somewhat awkward smile. If I give you time? I'll be able to leave the house in a wheelchair in just 10 or 20 days. You must rebuild the Kaibing building for me, Zhao Kaibing gave the order. Young Master Bing, how can you build a building in 10 or 20 days? That's really putting it too hard on me, Li Shihui said with a wry smile. 10 days, 20 days is plenty. I saw a video online where a building was built in just a few days. Others can do it, so why can't you? Are you trying to fool me? Zhao Kaibing glared and shouted. Well, I'll give it a try, Li Shihui agreed reluctantly. He went back to ask around, to see if he could find the video, hire a capable construction team, and then build a building. Hurry up and do it, Zhao Kaibing dismissed Li Shihui with an impatient wave. Li Shihui left the powerful floating cloud bar, feeling somewhat depressed. He was no longer the owner of the bar. Anyone inside had more say than him. Bing Xiao was fine, he was the owner's son, so naturally he was more powerful than him. But he couldn't afford to offend Zhu Bo and Yao Wang, which had reduced him to running errands. Brother Shihui, what's wrong with you? Xuanyuan saw Li Shihui emerge with a sullen look on his face and hurried forward to ask. Don't ask any more questions. Come on, let's go to Pengzhan Group. Li Shihui decided to deal with Lin Yi's situation first. It was easier than building the building. If they could get it done first, even if the building couldn't be completed on time, at least they'd have an explanation for Bing Xiao. Okay, Xuanyuan didn't ask any more questions. He and Li Shihui got in the car and headed for Pengzhan Group. Chu Pengzhan was a little surprised by Li Shihui's arrival, but he wasn't overly suspicious. After all, he had learned from Lin Yi last night that the person Lin Yi had offended was Zhao Kaibing. Li Shihui was Zhao Kaibing's subordinate, so her presence wasn't surprising. Boss Li, I wonder what brings you here. Chu Pengzhan didn't get too polite. After all, they had no business dealings, and Li Shihui had orchestrated Jinga Bang's recent attack on him. So Chu Pengzhan didn't even try to be polite with Li Shihui. Mr. Chu, there's no need to elaborate on what I do. We haven't had a particularly harmonious relationship, but that doesn't matter, Li Shihui said calmly. Let's put the previous matter behind us for now. Since Jin Gubang has failed, I have no intention of continuing to target you. Oh? Then why did Mr. Li come this time? Chu Pengzhan wasn't particularly surprised by Li Shihui's frank disclosure of his actions. Everyone knew the truth, whether they mentioned it or not. Let's be frank. Mr. Chu hired a bodyguard named Lin Yi. Li Shihui, eager to fulfill Zhao Kaibing's request as quickly as possible, didn't bother to waste time with Chu Pengzhan. From the outset, he asserted his power. In Li Shihui's view, while Lin Yi wasn't a match for him, he was still a prominent figure in Songshan City. Chu Pengzhan, after all, was just a businessman. How could he be compared to someone as tainted as him? Yes. Any questions? Chu Pengzhan frowned. Li Shihui had indeed come this time specifically to discuss Lin Yi. Haha, I do have something to bother you with, Mr. Chu. I'm sure you know about the news that my young master Bing was injured, Li Shihui asked calmly. What exactly do you want to say? Chu Pengzhan asked back. Young master Bing doesn't have any experts around him. I wonder if Mr. Chu would be willing to part with him and give Lin Yi to us. Li Shihui was being cunning this time. He was testing whether Lin Yi was injured, how serious his injury was, and whether his martial arts skills were still there. Oh, Mr. Lin Yi and I have a contract, Chu Pengzhan replied indifferently. So that's how it is. Li Shihui cursed Chu Pengzhan inwardly for being a shrew. He had assumed that if Lin Yi was injured, Chu Pengzhan would say that he was injured and unfit to protect others, or that if Lin Yi's martial arts skills were completely lost, Chu Pengzhan would say that Lin Yi was no longer able to protect others. But Chu Pengzhan was talking about the contract issue. What exactly does this mean? Is it that Lin Yi still has kung fu skills and Chu Pengzhan is unwilling to give them up, or is it that Lin Yi has lost his kung fu skills and is seriously injured, but Chu Pengzhan did not fire him entirely because of the contract? He said this without any tone, and Li Chihou really couldn't judge Chu Pengzhan's true intentions. In that case, I won't force you. Li Chihou gritted his teeth and said hatefully in his heart, I wonder where Mr. Chu found Lin Yi? Is it a bodyguard company, or some powerful organization? Why not recommend him to me, so I can hire a bodyguard too? Chapter 610 being followed again. Haha, I'm afraid we can't invite him, Chu Pengzhan said lightly. Boss Li, is there anything else? Although Chu Pengzhan didn't say anything, he kept revealing his rejection and keeping his distance from Li Chihou. However, even the wisest man can make mistakes. He never expected that Li Chihou would hear some information in his refusal. Chu Pengzhan said that he couldn't invite him, not that he couldn't invite him. In other words, Lin Yi should be alone, without any fellow disciples. In this way, there would be no worries in dealing with Lin Yi. Li Chihou was ecstatic. Chu Pengzhan, you old fox, didn't expect it? I didn't come here to poach your people, nor did I want to hire another bodyguard for Bing Xiao. I came here to gather information. After getting the answer he wanted, Li Chihou didn't stay any longer and said goodbye directly. Chu Pengzhan didn't want to see him off. He watched Li Chihou walk out of the office with a sneer. Li Chihou already harbored a deep hatred for Chu Pengzhan. In fact, even without this incident, he would have wanted to deal with Chu Pengzhan, but he simply hadn't found the time yet. If the Zhao family gained control of the Chu family's wealth, it would be a truly significant achievement. The so-called hidden families, while mysterious ancient martial arts families boasted some truly exceptional masters, actually possessed far less wealth than ordinary families. This was due to their different pursuits. Hidden families sought the pinnacle of martial arts, while ordinary families sought power and wealth. While the two were fundamentally different, hidden families nonetheless held a formidable reputation, boasting not only numerous experts but also numerous medical specialists, a feat coveted by other families. While this wasn't ancient times, with the existence of firearms, guns could still pose a threat to ordinary people. However, true masters, those above the yellow rank, could easily dodge bullets and kill before anyone could even fire. Therefore, guns were nothing to these masters. Of course, cannons, rockets, and armored vehicles were another matter. These things were beyond the reach of ordinary families, even those from the underworld. And hidden families needed money to maintain their development, which was why Li Chihou was earning money outside. So even without the incident with Bing Xiao, Li Chihou had long coveted the Pengzhan Group. After leaving Pengzhan Group, Li Chihou called Bing Xiao and shared the good news. As for how to deal with Lin Yi, they needed to discuss it with Zhu Bo and Yao Wang. There was no rush for these matters for now, simply knowing that Lin Yi had no connections or backing was enough. With one task completed, Li Chihou felt a great deal more at ease. She immediately set out to contact the construction team. While building the building within a few days was impossible, working day and night for 20 days should be possible. However, the wages would be doubled. Building at night would naturally cost more than building during the day. But Li Chihou had no choice. Young Master Bing had already given him a death order, and if he didn't carry it out, it would undoubtedly anger young Master Bing. Li Chihou could only use the treasury he had been preparing to hand over to Zhao Guangyan. After all, it was for Zhao Guangyan's son, so even if Zhao Guangyan found out, he wouldn't say anything. Lin Yi had intended to go to the hospital to see Tang Yun today. But Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu called him out early in the morning. Lin Yi, come with us to the bookstore to buy some review materials, Chu Mengyao said. Lin Yi wondered if the young lady had heard he was going to the hospital to see Tang Yun yesterday. Otherwise, why would she suddenly want to buy materials? After all, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu usually stayed home most weekends. Why, what's up? Chu Mengyao didn't mean to provoke Lin Yi. Her father's words yesterday had made Chu Mengyao even more determined to get good grades, but in the test-oriented education system, achieving good grades without review materials was simply impossible. No matter how clever you are, you can't get around the brain teasers of a test. Only practice makes perfect, and you can adapt to any situation. Nothing, Lin Yi could only accompany the young lady to the bookstore. "Why don't you hurry up and pack?" Chu Mengyao's tone and demeanor had returned to normal, no longer showing the unusual emotion she had yesterday. This made Lin Yi breathe a sigh of relief. It seemed he had been overthinking it. The young lady was still the same young lady she had always been. After Lin Yi packed up, he left with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. On the way, he sent a text to Tang Yun, telling her he would visit her at the hospital that afternoon. Tang Yun didn't think much of it after receiving the text. It was already midnight when they returned to the hospital yesterday, and it was only a little after 10 in the morning. Tang Yun was still asleep, so she thought Lin Yi needed to get some more sleep. "Which bookstore?" Lin Yi asked the young lady in the back seat as they drove out of the villa area. "Let's go to Zuhei bookstore? The one near the school," Chu Mengyao said after a moment's thought. "Okay," Lin Yi nodded, but his eyes were fixed on the rearview mirror. A black commercial vehicle had followed them out of the residential complex. Lin Yi had seen this commercial vehicle before. Who else could it belong to but Li Shihua? Unexpectedly, Li Shihua, who had been depressed for a long time, would resort to surveillance tactics again? Didn't he know his car had already been exposed once? In reality, Li Shihua hadn't intended to hide from Lin Yi. He had sent people to stake out the villa area simply to see how Lin Yi was doing. From inside the black commercial vehicle, Zhang Yazhao quickly called Li Shihua. "Brother Shihua, it's Xiao Yazhao," Zhang Yazhao said anxiously. "I saw Lin Yi." Oh, Li Shihua had just finished his work and hired a construction team to redesign the damaged building, preparing to begin construction tomorrow. Li Shihua had returned to the powerful floating cloud bar and received a call from Zhang Yazhao as soon as he entered. He had sent Zhang Yazhao to monitor Lin Yi, and no one knew how Lin Yi was doing. Li Shihua couldn't get any information from Chu Pengzhan, so he sent Zhang Yazhao to monitor Lin Yi's villa. "Where did you see him? How is Lin Yi?" Li Shihua asked. "Brother Shihua, right in front of Lin Yi's villa." Lin Yi drove out with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, Zhang Yazhao said. Ren Yuan has published a new book called Slaying the Immortal. Fans of this genre should check it out. Chapter 611, You Didn't Misjudge Him? Hiss. Li Shihua was so shocked that she almost threw the phone away. What? What did you say? Lin Yi is driving? He went out with Chu Mengyao and the others. Yeah, what's wrong? Zhang Yazhao was just a small fry, not good enough to know those secrets. Although he knew that Lin Yi had crippled Bing Xiao's legs, he still didn't know about Lin Yi's strength and Zhu Bo's strength. Are you sure you didn't see the wrong person? It was Lin Yi who was driving, Li Shihua asked in disbelief. No, I took a picture with my phone when they came out. I'll send it to you via MMS later, Zhang Yazhao said with certainty. He didn't know why Li Shihua was so suspicious. Lin Yi is just like a normal person? There's nothing wrong, Li Shihua asked without giving up. Yet, he can drive? What's abnormal? Zhang Yazhao replied. Then send me the photos, Li Shihua frowned. This was truly strange. According to Zhu Bo and Yao Wang, shouldn't Lin Yi be lying in bed, dying? How could he still be out with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu? And even driving? Okay, then should I continue to follow them? Zhang Yazhao asked. No need to follow them. Just leave. Li Shihua simply wanted to confirm Lin Yi's condition. He had no interest in what Lin Yi was doing. Oh, fine, then I'll leave, Zhang Yazhao replied. After sending Lin Yi's photos to Li Shihua, he told the driver not to follow the car in front. Just as Lin Yi was wondering why Li Shihua had sent someone to follow him again, he was about to shake them off when he suddenly noticed the car behind him turned a corner and disappeared. Lin Yi shook his head. Since they were no longer following him, he didn't bother with them. Li Shihua wasn't going to cause any major trouble anyway. After Li Shihua hung up the phone, she received a picture message from Zhang Yazhao. Sure enough, the photos showed Lin Yi casually leaving the villa with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, followed by photos of the three of them getting into a car. The last few photos were a bit blurry, obviously taken when Zhang Yazhao got into the car and continued to follow Lin Yi. Only the photo of the rear of Chu Mengyao's Audi S5 clearly showed their direction of travel. Li Shihua didn't dare to delay and hurried into the back room of the Jelly Fuyan bar. Zhao Kaibing was playing with his phone, while Yao Wang and Zhu Bo were whispering something. Young Master Bing, Zhu Bo, Mr. Yao, we have big news, Li Shihua said hurriedly. Big news? What big news? Young Master Bing put his phone aside when he saw Li Shihua return. He was reading an online novel called The Pickup Master, imagining himself becoming the protagonist and dominating everyone. Lin Yi doesn't appear to be injured. According to my men's tracking report, he's currently out with Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Lin Yi is driving, acting like a normal person, Li Shihua said. Impossible. Zhao Kaibing remained silent, but Zhu Bo spoke first. I clashed with him. I know our situations very well. How could you be unharmed, Uncle Zhu? I think it's impossible too. But here are the photos my men just sent me via MMS. Take a look. Li Shihua gave a wry smile and handed the phone to Zhu Bo. Zhu Bo picked up the phone and began to flip through it. Medicine King, who was standing nearby, also joined him. This, Zhu Bo looked at the picture on the phone and his eyes widened, as if he had seen a ghost. Was this just filmed? How is this possible? He was injured so badly. Let alone being able to stand up and walk, even without the magic medicine and the careful care of Brother Yao, I can't even speak with the energy. How can this Lin Yi go out? The king of medicine also had an incredible look on his face, thinking that the photo on the phone was really too unbelievable. No way. Could it be that Lin Yi is not injured at all? Is he not a Zhuan level master? Is he a higher existence? This is absolutely impossible. Zhu Bo shook his head. When we were fighting, I could clearly feel his strength. He is at the early stage of the Zhuan level for sure. Moreover, if he was a stronger existence, he would not have paid attention to my warning of fighting to the death and would have attacked Bing Xiao directly. Since he chose to retreat, it means that he is not completely sure of fighting me head-on. Besides, only when our strength is equal can I be injured but not die. If the other party's strength is too high, I can't even speak here now and I would have died long ago. But, the fact is, now that Lin Yi has truly emerged, let's not discuss the possibility. It's already possible, Li Shihua said helplessly. Uncle Zhu, Mr. Yao, if Lin Yi was seriously injured, how could he have absolutely recovered? That's not entirely certain. The Medicine King shook his head. There's only one possibility. He dispersed his inner energy, and so he's back to normal. Dispersed his inner energy. Li Shihua was stunned, somewhat unsure of what the Medicine King meant. Yes, he dispersed his inner energy. The Medicine King nodded and explained, when a master suffers a fatal injury, there are two ways to save their life. The first is to nourish themselves with elixirs crafted from abundant natural treasures. Of course, this also requires the assistance of a skilled medical practitioner using their Zhenki, true ki, otherwise this Henki of heaven and earth is insufficient for healing. The second, if the conditions for the first method aren't met, the only way to save their life is to disperse their inner energy. Huh? So, after surviving, their previous strength is gone, Li Shihua asked in surprise. You could say that, the Medicine King nodded. Could it be that Lin Yi lost his power? Li Shihua muttered to himself. The first method requires too much? It requires rare elixirs and a skilled practitioner. I'm afraid Lin Yi won't be able to find these. It's possible that he lost his power to save his life. In the first method, these two conditions don't have to be met at the same time. It's just that when both are present, recovery can be faster. If one is missing, recovery is still possible, but it will be slower. The Medicine King waved his hand and said, I guess Lin Yi doesn't have both of these conditions, so he chose to lose his power. This is also possible, Li Shihua said. Unlikely, the Medicine King frowned. Brother Zhu, if it were you, would you choose to lose your power? Chapter 612, Medicine King's Analysis. Of course not, Zhu Bo said with a wry smile. If it were me, I would rather die than lose my power. Only practitioners like us know how hard we work in cultivation. Strength is accumulated bit by bit. If it dissipates and we become an ordinary person, we might as well die. Even if there is a glimmer of hope, we can't lose our power. That's right, Medicine King nodded and said, so, if Lin Yi is not stupid, he should not lose his power. Or, in other words, he will not lose his power unless it is absolutely necessary. Or, what if he has already had no choice? Li Shihua frowned. By the way, can't it be that his strength has recovered? His strength has recovered, Medicine King and Zhu Bo both gasped. Because Li Shihua's hypothesis was really too bold. This possibility is not impossible, but it is really too idealistic. What? Is there a problem? Seeing the exaggerated expressions of Medicine King and Zhu Bo, Li Shihua asked curiously. The hypothesis you're talking about is possible, said the Medicine King, but that only exists under ideal conditions. First, if you were in a blessed cave with extremely rich ki, It wouldn't be impossible for him to recover his strength within a day. As long as he absorbs enough qi, then recovery is a piece of cake. Of course, I still don't know if there is such a place on Earth, at least I haven't heard of it. This is a bit like the fairyland in TV dramas, which doesn't seem to exist. Li Shihu shook his head. What else? In addition to this, the second way is to have a fellow master give him enlightenment and transfer the true qi in his body into Lin Yi's body, which can also achieve the purpose of rapid recovery. But this method is flawed. First of all, it must be a fellow master, because the training methods of different sects are different, and the true qi in the body is also different. If you force it, you will only kill the person. Secondly, although it can save people, it is not a good thing for the master. If the true qi he has worked so hard to cultivate is given to others, his strength will drop sharply, and he may even be demoted. I think that even brothers or fathers and sons will not rashly adopt this method. Because the higher the level, the more difficult it is to practice. To save the life of this one-level master, the rescuer must be at least a D-level master, and if he gives his own true qi to the rescued person, then he may also fall to this one level. If he wants to be promoted to the D level again, he still needs some hard training. No one should do such a thing, said the king of medicine. So that's how it is. Li Shihu nodded. So, Lin Yi's power is really dissipated? Or, he really has no hope of recovery? Because I also got some information from Chu Pengzhan. Lin Yi should have no fellow disciples and is alone, so no one saved him, and he has no natural treasures to nourish him. If he doesn't dissipate his power, he can only wait to die. That's hard to say. Yao Wang shook his head. In short, I think this matter is very weird, yet, this Chu Pengzhan is very ungrateful. I tried to ask him indirectly for a long time, but I couldn't get any information out of him, Li Shihu said angrily. Okay, stop studying Lin Yi. What's the point of studying him? Whether his strength has recovered or not, I will deal with him. Bing Xiao was a little impatient. Since he has no backing, I will make him die in front of me. And this Chu Pengzhan, so? He must protect Lin Yi? I didn't plan to deal with him immediately, but since he doesn't know how to appreciate it, I will deal with him together. That's right, Li Shihu nodded after listening to Bing Xiao's words. Mr. Yao, Uncle Zhu, how do we deal with Lin Yi? Brother Zhu's condition is unlikely to recover in a year or two, so Brother Zhu doesn't need to be taken into consideration, Yao Wang said. However, even if Brother Zhu recovers, I don't recommend a head-on confrontation with Lin Yi. Oh? Yao Wang, aren't you also a one-level master? Are you still afraid of Lin Yi? You and Uncle Zhu can't take down Lin Yi even if you join forces, Zhao Kaibing asked. Young Master Bing, it's true that I'm a one-level expert, but my Zhuan level is a little special, the Medicine King said with a wry smile. Although I'm also at this one level, I use drugs to improve my strength. It's different from the masters who actually absorb the true energy of heaven and earth to improve. Besides, the mental method I practice is of an auxiliary supply nature. It's mainly for saving people, not for attacking. I see, young Master Bing nodded, but felt a little aggrieved. In this case, how do we deal with Lin Yi? Has he become an ordinary person? Can't we do anything to him? That's not the case. Whether Lin Yi is an ordinary person or not, no one dares to be sure now. What if he has some ancient magic medicine in his hand? After taking one pill, it can be equivalent to half a year of training. Who knows, it's possible that my strength has been restored directly. The Medicine King shook his head. There is such a magical medicine. Zhao Kaibing widened his eyes. The world is so big, there are all kinds of wonders, said the Medicine King. Although this sounds a bit scary, I have indeed seen similar pills in some ancient books, called Dahuandan and Xiaohuandan. Dahuandan can instantly restore an injured person to peak strength, while Xiaohuandan can quickly recover from injuries, but the strength needs to be restored bit by bit. Of course, this kind of magic medicine is only a legend, and it is still unclear whether it exists. But what if Lin Yi has it? If we go head-to-head with him, we will suffer a loss. That makes sense, Li Shihu nodded. Damn it, aren't we being too cautious? Zhao Kaibing was very unhappy after listening to the Medicine King's analysis. Isn't this just playing tricks on people? How about we deal with Chu Pengzhan first? Li Shihu suddenly had an idea and suggested, since it's not feasible to attack Lin Yi directly, how about we start with Chu Pengzhan? This way, we can test Lin Yi's strength. If Lin Yi truly regains his strength, he'll definitely come out. If Lin Yi is just an ordinary person, he can't just get involved, right? Zhao Kaibing perked up. That's right, we can deal with Chu Pengzhan first. That's it. Let's figure out how to deal with him, young Master Bing. This business stuff isn't something Brother Zhu and I are good at, so let's keep quiet. Yao Wang shook his head. Different fields are like different worlds. He couldn't offer random advice to young Master Bing. Recommending a new urban novel, my sister Wang Yuan traveled through time? And forgot to put on her clothes? Liu Hua was reborn? And still remembered the grudges and hatreds from her past life? What will happen when the time-traveled Wang Yuan and the reborn Liu Hua sit face-to-face in a dry well, staring at each other in silence? Book number 2,115,286. Chapter 613, His Disgrace. That's right. Then you two should rest for a while. Li Chihua, what should we do next? Zhao Kaibing asked. Li Chihua fell into deep thought. We should choose to strike at Chu Pengzhan's weakest point, the one most vulnerable to attack. That way, we can quickly test Chu Pengzhan's limits and see if Lin Yi has recovered his strength. Damn, if only we could take on Chu Pengzhan and Lin Yi together. I'm really reaching the end of my patience. Zhao Kaibing had been very angry lately. After all, lying in bed with a broken leg was not easy. Pengzhan Group has many industries. We should target a relatively weak one most prone to problems. Li Chihua began to ponder. Young Bing didn't interrupt him. After all, Zhao Kaibing wasn't as familiar with Pengzhan Group as Li Chihua. He didn't even know what the companies under Pengzhan Group were. So, he just waited anxiously for Li Chihua to come up with a plan. Su Niange, come in. Li Chihua couldn't think of a solution alone, so he called Su Niange in. However, Su Niange was not a very powerful person. When it came to conspiracy, he was not as good as Li Chihua. The two of them discussed for a long time, but they couldn't come up with a plan, which made Zhao Kaibing very angry. You two are useless. You can't even do such a small thing. If you keep thinking, I don't believe that you can't deal with Chu Pengzhan. Sir Bing, calm down, Su Niange said carefully. Brother Chihua, I think we should call Jin Gubang and Zhong Fabei. Jin Gubang used to be from Pengzhan Group. He knows more about Pengzhan Group than us. And Zhong Fabei seems to be a very insidious person. There's strength in numbers. What do you think, Sir Bing? Okay, Li Chihua, you quickly call Jin Gubang and Zhong Fabei and ask them to come over. Sir Bing naturally agreed without thinking. He didn't want to wait a moment and wanted to take revenge on Lin Yi. When Jin Gubang and Zhong Fabei heard that it was young Master Bing who wanted to summon them, they immediately rushed over in a hurry. Although they knew that Lin Yi had injured Zhu Bo and crippled young Master Bing's legs, they didn't think that Lin Yi could lie for too long. Who is young Master Bing? Lin Yi actually broke both of his legs. How could young Master Bing get away with him? So when Li Chihua told them that young Master Bing was going to deal with Lin Yi and Pengzhan Group, they knew that their previous guess was correct. Dealing with Chu Pengzhan, this is what I'm good at. After hearing this, Jin Gubang said directly, if we talk about what can attract the attention of the media and ruin the reputation of Pengzhan Group, among those industries, we can start with a school. School? Fourth high school. Li Chihua was slightly stunned. That's right, it's the school, Jin Gubang said. Nowadays, if something happens to students in school, it will be a big deal. The media will be relentless, and public opinion will be one-sided, scolding Chu Pengzhan as a black-hearted entrepreneur who actually set his sights on students. Even if they want to make amends at that time, it depends on what the matter is. What we have to do is to create an accident that they cannot remedy or turn over, so that we can achieve our goal. That's right. Li Chihua's eyes lit up after hearing what Jin Gubang said. That's right, if something happened to Chu Pengzhan's school, how could the parents of the students let it go? It would be a real headache at that time. But, what kind of thing can cause problems in a school? Go on, what should we do? Zhao Kaibing also nodded with appreciation. It seems that Jin Gubang's subordinate was not recruited in vain. If something goes wrong in the school, it will naturally cause problems for the students inside, Jin Gubang said. For example, a building collapsed and killed several students, criminal gangs went to the campus to make trouble and injured several students, or a beastly teacher appeared and beat or even molested students, etc. These can quickly ruin a school's reputation. But, what you said is not very realistic. Zhao Kaibing frowned. The house collapsed? Do you dare to push the house directly like Lin Yi? As for the criminal gangs, do you want our people to make trouble? Would that implicate us? As for the beastly teachers, don't even think about it, it's basically impossible. No matter how much money you give them, They won't risk their lives to commit a crime. This, Jin Gubeng laughed dryly twice, a little embarrassed. I'm just giving examples. Let's continue to discuss what to do specifically. Young Master Bing, I wonder if this Mr. Medicine King, who is good at saving people, is also good at poisoning? Zhang Fabei, who had been silent, suddenly asked. Poisoning? Of course. The Medicine King is well versed in all kinds of pharmacology, so poisoning is naturally easy and enjoyable. Zhao Kaibing nodded and said. Haha, young Master Bing, how about we poison the students? Once students get food poisoning, it's no small matter, Zhang Fabei said. Food poisoning can be attributed to poor school supervision, or it can be distorted into the Pengzhan Group being too unscrupulous, selling expired junk food to students, which led to the students' food poisoning. If they accidentally poisoned Lin Yi or Chu Mengyao to death, that would be killing two birds with one stone. Great. Great. Old Zhang, you're good, very good. Zhao Kaibing praised Zhang Fabei's idea immediately upon hearing it. This is a great idea, let's do it. Medicine King, you must prepare a poison as soon as possible, and then poison the cafeteria of number 4 middle school. Poisoning is simple, but who is going to do it? And, will it be discovered after it's been poisoned? That's the key. The Medicine King was naturally very good at poisoning, but that wasn't what he cared about. That's a problem. By the way, Lao Zhang, isn't your son in number 4 middle school? Why don't you let him poison the thing? Zhao Kaibing glanced at Zhang Fabei and said. Huh? Zhang Fabei was stunned and immediately shocked. How could he let his son do such a thing? If the matter is exposed, he will go to jail. He only has this one son, and now he has lost a kidney. How can he let him take the risk? So he hurriedly said, Young Master Bing, this is not a good idea to let my son do such a thing. Why, you don't want to? Young Master Bing frowned. Are you afraid that I won't give you benefits? That's not the case. Zhang Fabei was shocked when he saw young Master Bing was angry. It's just that if things don't go well and are discovered by the police. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 614 Approaching Guanxin. Oh, you are talking about this? We can just find a scapegoat when the time comes. Bing Xiao glanced at Jin Gubeng and Li Chihu indifferently, and then said, Do you have anyone who can take the blame? I do have this little brother, but he has no connection with Pengzhan Group. Even if we let them take the blame, the police may not believe it, Li Chihu said with some embarrassment. Young Master Bing, I do have a person on my hand. He is a distant relative of mine. If he is promised huge profits, he can take the blame. He is the kind of person who values money over his life. Jin Gubeng thought for a while and said, The most important thing is that he and Chu Pengzhan still have some grudges. Well, that's good, then let's do it this way. The Medicine King will prepare the poison, and then let Zhong Pinliang poison it. If something goes wrong, let Jin Gubeng's distant relative take the blame. Young Master Bing was a little impatient, so he made a plan in a few words. Medicine King, you'd better prepare a rare poison that is difficult to solve and cannot be detected by the hospital. Only in this way can the Pengzhan Group be ruined. Otherwise, if it is found that someone maliciously poisoned it, the impact on Chu Pengzhan will not be so great. Don't worry, young Master Bing, the Medicine King said confidently. There are only a few people in this world who can detoxify the poison I prepared. Since I am called the Medicine King, I naturally have a very deep study of pharmacology. In my life, I have never lost except to one person. But that person disappeared more than 10 years ago. The Medicine King naturally has the capital to be proud. Among all the famous doctors in the hidden families, if the Medicine King says that he ranks second, then no one dares to claim to be the first. This is also the reason why he was able to treat Zubo after he was so seriously injured. Well, that's good. Young Master Bing also knew how powerful the Medicine King was. After Zhong Pinliang is discharged from the hospital, we will implement this plan. Old Zhang, don't worry too much, I won't treat you unfairly. Isn't Pinliang missing a kidney? I will help him research a matching kidney source in the next few days, and then install it for him. Thank you, young Master Bing. Zhang Fabei was immediately overjoyed. Zhong Pinliang missing a kidney has always been a concern for him, and it was simply great that young Master Bing came forward to help him find a kidney source. Lin Yi naturally didn't know that young Master Bing had already begun plotting against him, but even if he knew, He would have laughed it off. The king of medicine? He even uses Dr. Kang for ordinary wound medicine, and yet he dares to call himself the king of medicine? Why are there so many people with big faces in this world? Truly, the world is full of big faces. Parking downstairs at Zhuhe bookstore, Lin Yi accompanied the two young ladies into the bookstore. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu went to the high school information section, but Lin Yi wasn't particularly interested in that kind of stuff. Even if he didn't get into college, Chu Pengzhan would still send her to university. Lin Yi wasn't Chu Mengyao. He didn't care how someone got into college. He'd rather study something else than spend his time studying every day. Lin Yi was busy enough. I'll go check out the medical section. Meet me there after you buy your books, Lin Yi said, greeting Chu Mengyao. Oh. Chu Mengyao said, flipping through a newly released collection of mock exams from various provinces and cities. She simply said a faint "oh," and ignored Lin Yi. Chen Yashu was also flipping through a workbook like Chu Mengyao, but after hearing what Lin Yi said, she shook her head at Lin Yi, indicating that she understood. Lin Yi smiled and turned to go to the medical area. It was here that he met Guan Zuman. Almost a month had passed, and Lin Yi and Guan Zuman had actually founded a pharmaceutical company together. Life's encounters were truly amazing. However, unexpectedly, in the medical area, Lin Yi saw two acquaintances. Kang Xiaoming had been in Songshan City for 4 days. He came with a difficult mission for his family, which was to woo Guanzin. He wanted to start with Guanzin to learn the formula of the longevity and detoxification pill in Guanzuman's hand. Of course, he didn't believe that this formula was invented by Guanzuman. In his opinion, Guanzuman was just like his grandfather, Dr. Kang, who met some master by chance and got the formula from someone else. He is a master at picking up girls, so naturally he would not be so impatient as to go directly to the hospital to give Guanzin flowers or proposed love, as that would be too cliché, and he also did not think Guanzin would agree. According to Kang Xiaoming's investigation, Guanzin has never had a boyfriend, and if he did that, it would only scare Guanzin. So Kang Xiaoming wanted to create a chance encounter, to meet Guanzin by coincidence at a suitable occasion, and then achieve the purpose of getting to know her. This would also allow Guanzin to relax her guard. However, this opportunity was really hard to find, and Kang Xiaoming waited at Guanzin's door for 4 days without finding any chance. Guanzuman's residence was easy to inquire about, and Kang Xiaoming found it without much effort, but he waited for Guanzin nearby, and he could indeed see Guanzin every day, but it would not be good to just go up and chat with her, right? Guanzin would definitely think he was a pervert, and that was not what Kang Xiaoming wanted. Guanzin took the commuter bus to and from get off work every day, and it was very regular, which made it impossible for Kang Xiaoming to take advantage of her. If Guanzin took the bus or a taxi, he could still find a chance to meet her, but since he wasn't a hospital employee, he couldn't get on the commuter bus. This frustrated Kang Xiaoming. He called himself a playboy, but after 4 days of waiting, he still hadn't met his target. Just when he was getting impatient, Guanzin finally left. On Saturday, Guanzin was on vacation and didn't go to work. After leaving the villa, she took the bus directly to Zhuhe bookstore. Kang Xiaoming felt his chance had come, so he quickly hailed a taxi and followed her all the way to Zhuhe bookstore. Seeing Guanzin head to the medical section, he began to think about how to strike up a conversation. Guanzin naturally didn't notice she was being followed. After all, she wasn't studying criminal investigation, so it was impossible for her to notice Kang Xiaoming was not far away. Today, Guanzin came to the bookstore to buy some books about the integrated Chinese and Western medicine assistant physician exam. When she was in school, although she majored in nursing, she also studied integrated Chinese and Western medicine. She did this because her grandfather was an excellent Chinese medicine practitioner. Guanzin couldn't bear to disappoint him, so she chose a Chinese medicine-related major as her second major. But after graduation, Guanzin still felt that she was not suitable for traditional Chinese medicine, so she became a nurse. Although Guanzuman was disappointed, he did not say much. After all, Guanzin was a girl, so Guanzuman did not have much hope. Chapter 615 Kang Xiaoming strikes up a conversation. But now Guanzin wants to pick up this major and take the qualification exam, all because of Lin Yi. She also knows that Lin Yi's medical skills are not inferior to her grandfather's, and are even better. So Guanzin was afraid that she would lack common topics with Lin Yi in the future, so she decided to pick up this major. Of course, She did not tell her grandfather or her father, but made this decision silently. At this moment, Kang Xiaoming regretted that he did not study medical books hard, otherwise he could find a topic to talk to Guanxin about. This opportunity is rare. He also comes from a medical family. This is a perfect excuse to chat up girls. But unfortunately, Kang Xiaoming can't do anything except picking up girls. Seeing Guanxin found a book from the bookshelf and was flipping through it, Kang Xiaoming was so anxious. How can he chat her up? Wait, Kang Xiaoming suddenly had an idea. That's not right. Guanxin is just a nurse. She doesn't know anything about medicine. And nurses should be doing some work that requires practice every day, right? Things like giving injections and bandaging, don't they need to go to the bookstore to buy books? Guanxin came here because Kang Xiaoming was looking at the medical area. There were also many girls there. At this moment, a girl happened to walk past him, and Kang Xiaoming clearly saw the words written on the book in her hand, Chinese Medicine Beauty. Kang Xiaoming suddenly realized that it was Chinese Medicine Beauty. Then Guanxin came here to buy books of this kind. Which girl doesn't love beauty? Especially a cute and beautiful girl like Guanxin, she would want to become more beautiful. Thinking of this, Kang Xiaoming felt confident. Although he didn't understand medicine, Guanxin might not understand it either. As long as what he said was more professional and reliable, Guanxin probably wouldn't know whether what he said was true or not. What's more, many books nowadays are also deceptive. What's written on them may not be correct, and some are even contradictory. Kang Xiaoming gritted his teeth, strode over, and said with a smile, "Beautiful lady, are you reading a book on beauty?" Guanxin's book was open, and Kang Xiaoming couldn't see the cover, so he had no idea what Guanxin was reading, so he asked very self-righteously. Oh, Guanxin looked up at Kang Xiaoming, but found that she didn't recognize him, so she ignored him and continued to read the book in her hand. Haha, many of the things in these books are lies. I happen to have nothing to do today, so I will tell you how to use Chinese medicine for beauty, Kang Xiaoming said confidently. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kang Xiaoming, and I am the grandson of Dr. Kang. Dr. Kang, Guanxin was stunned. She had heard of Dr. Kang. The golden medicine he produced was very famous. When Guanxin was bandaging the wounded, she was often asked if the hospital had Dr. Kang's golden medicine. However, Guanxin did not have any special feelings for Dr. Kang. She had just heard of him. Yes, our Kang family is a family of traditional Chinese medicine. Normally, I wouldn't casually comment on these books on traditional Chinese medicine beauty, but seeing you today, I really couldn't help it and had to say a few words. Kang Xiaoming thought Guanxin was intimidated by the reputation of Dr. Kang, and continued complacently. If you follow the methods described in these scam books to beautify yourself, you will definitely be disfigured. I can't bear to see such a beautiful you ruined, so I still have to say something. Oh, Guanxin frowned, very impatient with Kang Xiaoming's chattering. No, I don't want to have beauty treatments either. How can that be? You are so beautiful, but if you don't know how to maintain your beauty will be short-lived, Kang Xiaoming said. Think about it, you are so beautiful now because of your invincible youth. What will happen in a few years when you are old and ugly? Guanxin glared at Kang Xiaoming, thinking to herself, why is this man talking like that? What do you mean by old and ugly? Is he crazy? However, Guanxin was well educated and had a temper that didn't get angry easily. Although she was dissatisfied with Kang Xiaoming, she didn't say much. She continued to read with her head down, thinking that if she ignored him, he would just walk away. But who would have thought that Kang Xiaoming didn't leave, but continued to chatter on and on. Our family, Dr. Kang, is very knowledgeable about Chinese medicine beauty. The herbs written in these books are all ordinary herbs, which are actually useless. If you want to stay young forever, you have to take some strong herbs. For example, Ganoderma lucidum, snow lotus, deer antler, tiger whip. Kang Xiaoming didn't know what the good herbs were, but Guanxin didn't understand anyway, so he mentioned some of the precious herbs he had heard of. When Guanxin heard the word tiger whip, her face flushed, and she felt even more annoyed. Is there something wrong with this person? Why does he say everything? But Kang Xiaoming had no self-awareness. Seeing Guanxin blushing, he thought she was impressed by his vast knowledge, so he became even more proud and continued, I still have half a tiger whip at home. I ate half a whip last time and it was very helpful. If you need it, I can give it to you. Kang Xiaoming didn't realize there was anything wrong with the tiger whip at all. He was just eager to please Guanxin, so he just told her what he had at home among these spiritual medicines. Although he also had snow lotus, it was used to prepare beauty and skin-nourishing golden medicine. He was not stupid enough to give it away as a gift. Guanxin really couldn't stand the person in front of her. She closed the book in her hand and wanted to leave. When she looked up, she saw Lin Yi standing not far away. She was immediately delighted. She waved to Lin Yi and said, "Lin Yi. What a coincidence, you are here in the bookstore too." Kang Xiaoming was proudly showing off his inventory, but he saw Guanxin actually left, and she actually went to find Lin Yi. Kang Xiaoming was immediately furious. The entire Kang family considers Lin Yi their mortal enemy. Ever since Kang Xiaobo started getting involved with this guy, the Kang family has been in turmoil. It was clearly a good longevity and detoxification pill, but he refused to explain it clearly. As a result, the Kang family not only lost a precious pill, but also had to eat drug shit together. How embarrassing. Of course, Kang Xiaoming never blamed these mistakes on his own family. He never thought that if his family had not believed that Kang Xiaobo had sent the elixir, and Kang Xiaoming had not trampled the pill to pieces, would the series of events that followed have happened? However, Kang Xiaoming put all the blame on Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi, blaming them for not explaining it clearly in advance. Later, the longevity and detoxification pill that his family spent over 400 million on was actually eaten by a dog. He also blamed Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi for it. If they hadn't sent the longevity and detoxification pill, would his family have been able to find a sheepdog? Can I study shit? Chapter 616 I don't know him. If he hadn't been studying dog shit, he wouldn't have needed this sheepdog. How could a dog eat the elixir? So, when enemies meet, they envy each other. Kang Xiaoming saw Lin Yi and wanted to tear him into pieces. Especially since he didn't know what his relationship was with Guanzumin, but he was always hanging around Guanzumin and Lai Changai. What business did he have? Haha, I just came to take a look. Why are you here too? Lin Yi saw that Kang Xiaoming was trying to get close to Guanxin, but he was confused as to why Kang Xiaoming was pursuing Guanxin again. Could it be that this guy had nothing better to do all day, so he just chased women? Yet, I came to buy 2 books. Guanxin's face flushed again. Thinking that the reason she bought the books was because of Lin Yi, Guanxin's heart beat fast. She was a shy girl, especially around her sweetheart. Oh, do you need help? Lin Yi nodded, not thinking much about it. After all, Guanxin was Guanzumin's granddaughter and worked at the hospital. It wasn't strange for her to come by medical books. No need, I've already chosen one, Guanxin whispered. Kang Xiaoming, standing by, was furious. Why was Lin Yi involved in this whole thing? A perfectly good opportunity to strike up a conversation had been ruined by Lin Yi. Was this guy a natural troublemaker? He'd ruined Grandpa's birthday party, the Kang family's plans at the auction, and even his own attempts to pick up girls. Kang Xiaoming couldn't stand it any longer. He pointed at Lin Yi and said to Guanxin, "This guy is not a good person. You should not be with him. Stay away from him. He is a big liar who deceives the world and steals his reputation. Our Kang family's signature products have been counterfeited by his family. We are the Divine Dr. Kang's Golden Wound Medicine, and he made a Divine Dr. Guan's Trauma Medicine. We made a hardcover edition, and he also made a hardcover edition. It's simply plagiarism and imitation. You must not get close to such a shameless villain. He learned everything from our family. We are called Divine Dr. Kang, and he made another Divine Dr. Guan. He is simply the king of knockoffs." Kang Xiaoming poured out the depression that had been pent up in his heart for a long time in one breath. However, after he finished speaking, he saw Guanxin staring at him coldly, which made Kang Xiaoming feel a little cold. What kind of look was that? Huh? Kang Xiaoming suddenly realized. Wasn't Guanxin's grandfather the Divine Dr. Guan? He actually said that the Divine Dr. Guan was a knockoff? Wasn't that just insulting someone's grandfather? It would be strange if Guanxin was not angry. Kang Xiaoming was so regretful. He was such a loser that he couldn't control his mouth. Even if he thought so in his heart, he couldn't say it out loud. Would this make Guanxin hate him? In a hurry, Kang Xiaoming could only explain incoherently, No, that's not what I meant. I didn't say that Dr. Guan was bad. I said that Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company was bad and it was a copycat." Guanxin still stared at Kang Xiaoming coldly, her eyes full of anger. Kang Xiaoming was shocked. What he said just now was also very inappropriate. Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company, Isn't it Guanzuman's company? It would have been fine if he hadn't explained what he said. Once he explained, it would have made things worse. No. I'm not saying that Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company is bad. I'm saying that Dr. Guan was deceived by Li Chang'ai and this brat. He was made to do something deceiving and stealing his reputation. Kang Xiaoming explained incoherently. I didn't mean to insult your grandfather. How did you know that Dr. Guan was my grandfather? Guanzin glared at Kang Xiaoming. She hadn't said a word about her identity before, so how did Kang Xiaoming know? I guessed it. Kang Xiaoming was sweating profusely. Yes, he was here to create a chance encounter, so he shouldn't know Guanzin. How did he let it slip? You knew it all along, right? You approached me on purpose? What were you trying to do? Guanzin subconsciously took 2 steps back, looking at Kang Xiaoming warily. A misunderstanding. Actually, it was a misunderstanding. Kang Xiaoming was extremely anxious. His performance today was really below par. It was simply out of character. He was a master at picking up girls, so how could he have made such a low-level mistake? Lin Yi. It had to be Lin Yi. Ever since he met this boy, he'd started making so many mistakes. It wasn't like this before. He'd thought that when he'd first met Guanzin, he'd been quite the debonair, boastful, and knowledgeable. Guanzin had ignored him simply because she was shy. At least she hadn't been as furious as she was now. Little did he know that Guanzin had initially dismissed him as a mere stranger, completely unconcerned. Since he was just a stranger, there was no reason for Guanzin to be angry with him. But now, he was insulting Grandpa, and both Grandpa and Lin Yi's company. How could she not be angry? However, Guanzin wasn't the type of woman with a stubborn temper. Although angry, she simply glared at Kang Xiaoming and didn't lose her temper. Guanzin, I know you, and I've admired you for a long time. So, I was a bit infatuated with you and said some illogical things. Please forgive me. Kang Xiaoming, a true master of the love scene, composed himself and quickly explained his mistake. This made it seem like Guanzin was too beautiful and Kang Xiaoming was completely bewitched by her, leading to his incoherent speech. If it was a more vain girl, she would probably be very happy and would not care about his previous mistakes. But Guanzin only had Lin Yi in her eyes, and there was no place for Kang Xiaoming at all, so what he said only made Guanzin more annoyed. She frowned imperceptibly and didn't want to see Kang Xiaoming anymore, so she lowered her head. Seeing that Guanzin ignored him and lowered her head instead, Kang Xiaoming thought that Guanzin was shy because of his words. Girls who have never had a boyfriend will always be shy, so Kang Xiaoming thought Guanzin was the same. Moreover, today's strong medicine has been enough. If Kang Xiaoming said anything more, he was afraid that Guanzin would not be able to accept it all of a sudden, so he had to say, Guanzin, I have something to do today. A friend asked me out, so I'll leave first. I was a little out of control today. Although there are reasons, it is still inappropriate. I will come to your house to apologize another day. Kang Xiaoming felt that he was really smart. Not only did he apologize, but he also retreated to advance and set an excuse for the next meeting. In this way, Kang Xiaoming can go to the hospital to find Guanzin with a clear reason. Guanzin did not express her opinion at all, and did not even look at Kang Xiaoming. After Kang Xiaoming left, Guanzin said to Lin Yi a little embarrassedly, I don't know him. Chapter 617 The employer is so fierce. Guanzin didn't know what she was trying to prove, she just didn't want Lin Yi to misunderstand her. Oh, I know him, Lin Yi smiled. He's a playboy, don't bother with him. Yeah, Guanzin nodded, feeling relieved. As long as Lin Yi didn't misunderstand her, it was fine. Actually, Guanzin didn't understand why she cared so much about Lin Yi. He clearly had a girlfriend, so what was she really thinking? Guanzin wasn't sure either. Have you bought your books? Lin Yi asked. Not yet. I was just choosing when that guy named Kang something came over. Guanzin shook her head. He was talking nonsense. I don't understand. Oh, then you keep choosing. I'll just read. Lin Yi casually grabbed the book from the shelf and started flipping through it. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu finished selecting their review materials and went to the medical section to find Lin Yi. They saw him talking to Guanzin. What's he doing? Chu Mengyao was furious. How could Lin Yi be flirting with other girls again when she couldn't see him? He could meet beautiful girls just by buying a book in the bookstore? Brother Arrow is picking up girls. Chen Yashu took a closer look and said, She's very pretty, no less beautiful than Sister Yao. What are you talking about? Chu Mengyao gritted her teeth in anger. What do you mean no less beautiful than me? This Lin Yi is really pissing me off. How can he die if he doesn't have affairs? Oh, I don't know. Then I'll go tell Brother Arrow to stop having affairs, Chen Yushu asked. No, Chu Mengyao frowned, but she didn't want to yell at Lin Yi directly. She had to find an excuse, otherwise he would think she was doing something to him. Thinking of this, Chu Mengyao quickly took out her wallet and stuffed it into Chen Yushu's chest. Hide it, just say you lost it. Oh, Chen Yushu looked at her chest, which had become larger and smaller, and suddenly felt a little confused. Sister Yao, it's asymmetrical, just bear with it, it will be symmetrical when we get home. Chu Mengyao glared at her. Oh, Chen Yushu could only nod aggrievedly. Lin Yi, what were you doing? Xiaoshu and I were buying books, and how come you're gone in the blink of an eye? Chu Mengyao tried to sound angry. I lost my wallet. Where have you been? Lin Yi had just finished talking to Guanzin and was about to read when Chu Mengyao's shout startled him. Who are they? Guanzin was also startled, looking at Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu with some fear. Two girls who were incredibly beautiful, but also had a frightening fierceness. My employer. Lin Yi shrugged and smiled bitterly. I'm going home now. See you next time. Guanzin asked, puzzled. How could Lin Yi have an employer? Wasn't he in business with Grandpa? Why did he look like a lackey for two young ladies? What was going on? Although Guanzin was puzzled, she didn't ask any more questions. She wasn't the talkative type. She just nodded and said, okay, come over to my house someday. Grandpa was asking when you could come. Okay, I'll find time to visit. Lin Yi nodded. Then tell Grandpa in advance, and I'll prepare food for you, Guanzin said a little embarrassedly. Chu Mengyao was so angry when she heard that Guanzin actually wanted to cook for Lin Yi that she gritted her teeth. She thought to herself, how could this girl be so shameless? She even wanted to cook for Lin Yi? Lin Yi, I'm hungry. Go home quickly and cook for me and Xiaoshu. Chu Mengyao pointed at Lin Yi and said angrily. Oh, I'm hungry too, I want to eat shark meat. Chen Yushu also stretched out her hands and shouted, but the movement was too big, and a corner of the wallet on her chest was squeezed out. She didn't notice it and said excitedly, let's go catch sharks, your employer is so fierce. Guanzin opened her mouth and looked at Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu in some astonishment, then go back quickly and don't affect your work, okay, see you next time. Lin Yi didn't know what the eldest lady was crazy about again, and walked over quickly. Lin Yi, it's because you left your post that my wallet was stolen. What do you think we should do? Chu Mengyao glared at Lin Yi and said, bring the thief to justice. Oh, it was Xiaoshu who stole your wallet, Lin Yi said with a smile. How is that possible? Chu Mengyao was shocked, not knowing how Lin Yi knew, but she tried to argue, how could Xiaoshu, steal my wallet? No, it wasn't me. Chen Yushu also shook her head. Hey, it's right on your chest, half exposed. Lin Yi pointed at Chen Yushu and said. Huh? Chen Yushu quickly looked down and found that the corner of her wallet was indeed exposed. Aren't you going to bring the thief to justice? I caught him for you. Do you want to take him to the police? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Oh, no, I don't want to go to jail. It was Sister Yao who forced me to hide my wallet. It's none of my business, Chen Yushu screamed in surprise. You? Chu Mengyao's eyes widened, her face furious, her heart nearly exploding with anger. What are you yelling about? Stop it. It's because your breasts are so big that they pushed your wallet out. It's not my fault, Chen Yushu said pitifully. Well, now that we've found the thief, let's go back and eat. Lin Yi smiled, but said nothing more. Sometimes, the eldest daughter is even cuter than Xiaoshu. She actually came up with such a ridiculous idea. After returning home at noon, Lin Yi went to cook. Chu Mengyao glared at Chen Yushu with dismay. Look, you can't even act, and you got caught. Sister Yao, it's not my fault. The wallet just slipped out on its own, Chen Yushu said weakly. Okay, enough about that. You're so pissed me off, Chu Mengyao said speechlessly. Who was that girl Lin Yi was talking to today? I don't know. I've never seen her before, Chen Yushu shook her head. Aren't you Spy Shoe 007? You don't know anything, Chu Mengyao shook her head. When Lin Yi was preparing the meal, he deliberately prepared an extra portion, intending to bring it to Tang Yun when he went to the hospital later, but the eldest lady discovered it. Lin Yi, why did you make so much food? Can the three of us finish it? Chu Mengyao was just angry, so she asked casually. In fact, the eldest lady usually didn't care about the issue of leftovers. I made an extra portion and will bring it to Tang Yun when I go to the hospital later. Lin Yi did not hide it. Delivering food to Tang Yun? The eldest lady felt a little uncomfortable, but she didn't show it. Chapter 618 Xiaoshu is overcrowded to death. While eating, the eldest lady kept silent. She lowered her head and ate voraciously, wanting to finish the extra portion, but her appetite was limited and she really couldn't eat any more. So she said to Chen Yashu, Xiaoshu, go eat some more. Ah. Sister Yao, but I'm already full, Chen Yashu said, clutching her stomach. No, eat a little more. Your breasts are too small. You need to make them bigger. Chu Mengyao glared at Chen Yashu and winked at her. Chen Yashu didn't know what Sister Yao was going to do, but seeing that she wanted to continue eating so much, Chen Yashu could only stand up to get the food. However, Chu Mengyao got there first. Chu Mengyao ran to the kitchen and put all the remaining rice and stir-fried vegetables on Chen Yashu's plate. Ah! So much? Chen Yashu was shocked. Hurry up and eat. You're in the growth phase, so you need to eat more, Chu Mengyao said. Seeing Chen Yashu didn't move her chopsticks, she lowered her voice and whispered in her ear, if you listen, I'll make you my concubine. Oh, okay, then I'll eat. Chen Yashu was delighted at this and made a difficult decision, picking up her chopsticks and struggling to eat. Lin Yi watched in amazement as Chen Yashu devoured the food bit by bit and stood up speechlessly. It seemed that his idea of bringing food to Tang Yun had been dashed. After finishing all the food, Chen Yashu could no longer stand up and collapsed on the sofa, motionless. Lin Yi said goodbye to the eldest lady and went to the hospital to visit Tang Yun. Chu Mengyao had no reason to stop Lin Yi, and in fact, she couldn't stop him. Tang Yun was delighted to see Lin Yi appear in the hospital room full of energy. She had been worried about his injuries, but now it seemed that he was fine. You're here? Tang Yun ran down from the bed in surprise. Well, are you feeling better? Lin Yi wanted to hug Tang Yun, but she shyly dodged. I'm fine. My foot doesn't hurt at all. Tang Yun had dodged Lin Yi earlier, fearing that he would be upset, so she quietly explained, this is the hospital ward, there are a lot of people here. It wouldn't be good if my mom saw us. Lin Yi smiled. I made some food at home and wanted to bring you some, but Chen Yashu ate it all. Yeah, Tang Yun didn't want a meal, but Lin Yi's thoughtfulness. As long as Lin Yi was thinking of her, she was happy. She wanted to ask about the relationship between Lin Yi and Chu Mengyao, but she couldn't bring herself to ask, fearing that Lin Yi would think she was petty. After a night of peace, the bold Tang Yun had long since returned to her old self. Without Chu Mengyao to stimulate her, it was difficult for her to make those bold moves. Thinking about it now, she felt a little embarrassed and ashamed. Was she still the same person she was yesterday? Actually, I transferred to Songshan City because my elders asked me to take care of Chu Mengyao. It's my job, Lin Yi explained before Tang Yun could ask. He had to tell her all this sooner or later, it was just a matter of time. Now that she had met the eldest daughter, Lin Yi spilled the beans. On my first day here, I stayed at Chu Mengyao's villa. She rarely interfered with my personal affairs before, but yesterday, maybe because I didn't tell her beforehand about my revenge for you, I pissed her off. Lin Yi explained his relationship with the eldest daughter to Tang Yun, hiding nothing. After all, there was nothing to hide, and he spoke truthfully. Oh, I see. Tang Yun felt relieved after hearing Lin Yi's detailed explanation. After all, Lin Yi had said it was his job, and his main purpose in coming to Songshan City was to take care of Chu Mengyao, the eldest daughter. Yes, will you be angry when you know the truth? Lin Yi asked. How could I be so petty? This is your job, how could I interfere? Although Tang Yun said this, she still felt a little uncomfortable. After all, Lin Yi was living under the same roof with two beautiful women, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu. How could Tang Yun not care at all? It will be better when we get to college and have a dormitory, Lin Yi said. Oh, by the way, yesterday, they said you kissed them and even touched them. Tang Yun said this with a bit of embarrassment. After a pause, she continued, and often in groups. Lin Yi was speechless. In groups, how is that possible? If I really had a group, would they let me meet you? That's true. Tang Yun was not stupid. If Lin Yi was always in groups with the eldest lady and Xiaoshu, they would definitely keep a close eye on him. How could they let him meet her? What about kissing and touching them? Tang Yun couldn't help but ask again. Didn't I tell you that Chu Mengyao drank the drink I had, so that counts as an indirect kiss? Lin Yi said with a wry smile. As for Chen Yushu, she was drowning and I gave her artificial respiration. As for touching her, it was during the artificial respiration. Is that really the case? Although Tang Yun asked this, she actually believed Lin Yi. Really? Lin Yi nodded. Then can the gauze on my head be removed? Tang Yun asked. Huh? Lin Yi was stunned. Wasn't Tang Yun's thinking too jumpy? She was just asking about him and the eldest lady, but now she was concerned about the gauze on her head? Lin Yi had no idea that Tang Yun was anxious to know if she was disfigured. If she was really afraid that she wouldn't be able to compete with Chu Mengyao. Although Tang Yun didn't say it out loud, her woman's sixth sense made her feel that Chu Mengyao's behavior towards Lin Yi seemed to be more than what Lin Yi said. She just went to seek revenge and didn't report it to her. Yesterday in Fatty Lie's villa, Chu Mengyao's behavior could clearly be understood as jealousy. Of course, Lin Yi didn't say anything, and Tang Yun wouldn't say it again. It should be okay, I'll open it for you and see, Lin Yi said, and reached out to remove the gauze on Tang Yun's head. Tang Yun lowered her head, looking forward to what would happen on her forehead the moment the gauze was opened. How? Lin Yi looked at Tang Yun's smooth forehead and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Although Lin Yi was very confident in the medicine he prepared, he was still a little nervous after all because it involved Tang Yun. How is it? Tang Yun asked anxiously. You'll know if you look in the mirror, Lin Yi smiled. Chapter 619 I will definitely knock on the door next time. I don't dare. Tang Yun truly didn't dare. She didn't want her dream to be shattered. Haha, how would you know if you don't see? Lin Yi chuckled. That's not your personality, is it? You wouldn't have been so hesitant before, would you? Lin Yi was right. Tang Yun's personality before her would have definitely not been so hesitant. She was a girl who took on responsibility. Tang Yun glared at Lin Yi but said nothing. In her heart, she thought, what difference does it make whether I was beautiful before? Being less beautiful would have saved me a lot of unnecessary trouble. But now it's different. Would you still like me if I weren't beautiful? Despite Lin Yi's persuasion, Tang Yun still walked over to the mirror. She looked at herself nervously and was startled. The scar on her forehead was gone, leaving only a faint mark. It was invisible unless you looked closely. This is new skin. It will be different from before, but it will be the same in a few days, Lin Yi explained. Is it really that miraculous? Tang Yun was a bit incredulous. She'd had 8 stitches on her forehead, and even though Lin Yi had removed them in the end, it must have been a bloody mess. And in a single day, it was back to its pre-injury state. Was she dreaming? It's nothing miraculous. Dr. Kang's golden healing medicine has long been known to produce this effect. Lin Yi didn't think his actions were particularly miraculous. How can my family afford Dr. Kang's golden healing medicine? I've never used it before, so how would I know? Tang Yun was overjoyed, hopping around the ward like a cheerful bird. Suddenly, her mother pushed the door open, startling her and nearly falling. Lin Yi quickly supported Tang Yun, and she collapsed into his arms. Tang's mother had come to check on her daughter's condition, fearing she might become depressed. After all, she hadn't personally seen the effectiveness of Lin Yi's wound medicine, and she didn't know if Tang Yun would recover. Upon entering, Tang Yun saw her daughter and Lin Yi being intimate. Embarrassed, she coughed and said, I'm going to go for a walk first, Mom. Tang Yun blushed and quickly pulled herself out of Lin Yi's arms, not daring to look up at her mother. She was furious. Why had she fallen down earlier or later, only when her mother pushed the door open? This was so embarrassing. Did her mother think she was throwing herself into Lin Yi's arms? Haha, next time, I'll definitely knock first, Tang's mother thought to herself. Her daughter was growing up, and it seemed she had to be more careful. She hadn't considered this before, but now she realized her daughter also needed her own space. Of course, this was based on the fact that Tang's mother liked Lin Yi. Otherwise, if it was someone else, Tang's mother wouldn't be so easy to deal with and would even try to sabotage him. Mom, what are you talking about? Tang Yun said awkwardly. My forehead wound is healed. I was so happy I almost fell, and Lin Yi just helped me up. Tang Yun felt a little guilty at her mother's look, so her words were a bit shaky. I understand, Tang Yun said, her mother's expression amplifying her understanding. Tang Yun knew the misunderstanding had deepened. Auntie, Lin Yi, without the slightest bit of panic, politely nodded and greeted Tang's mother. "How's Uncle Tang's injury?" "Much better. With the potion you gave him, it doesn't hurt anymore. He's also taking the Chinese medicine, and he seems fine." In fact, Tang's mother hadn't anticipated Tang Zhichen's injury would heal so quickly. Today, he was completely pain-free, and it looked like he was almost fully recovered. "Let's go see Uncle Tang," Lin Yi said. "Huh? Yuner, is your head injury really healed?" At this moment, Tang's mother approached and took a closer look at the injury on Tang Yun's forehead. Sure enough, only a shallow scar remained, and otherwise, there was nothing unusual. This scar was so shallow it was barely noticeable, and it would probably disappear after a while. "Yet, it's really healed," Tang Yun said, glancing shyly at Lin Yi before addressing her mother. "Xiao Yi's medical skills are truly incredible," Tang's mother praised him generously, her eyes growing more and more admiring as she looked at Lin Yi. She felt her daughter was truly lucky to have met Lin Yi. Her life would be worry-free, and their own lives would gradually improve. Tang's mother had also watched the news. The collapse of the Kaibing building had been on TV. While the cause hadn't been revealed, simply that it was due to substandard construction, Tang's mother knew there was more to it than meets the eye. How could it be such a coincidence? Lin Yi had just taken revenge on Zhao Kaibing, and his building collapsed because of substandard construction? How could it be possible? Anyone with a bit of common sense would have figured out that it was Lin Yi who collapsed the building. Back then, Lin Yi had fatty lie-find bulldozers, trenchers, and a demolition crew. It would be a surprise if the building collapsed on its own. Even if Zhao Kaibing was a shady businessman who cut corners on building construction, he wouldn't have cut corners on his group's office building. After all, he works in the building himself, and it's the face of the company. How could anyone dare buy real estate developed by his company if the quality of the office building wasn't up to par? But Zhao Kaibing had no choice. He couldn't afford to lose face. He'd rather swallow his anger and say his building wasn't up to par than admit that it was Lin Yi who demolished it. Tang's mother was so straightforward. Zhao Kaibing demolished her own house, and now Lin Yi is demolishing his. He disfigured Tang Yun and broke Tang Zhichen's legs, and now Lin Yi has done the same, disfiguring his face and breaking his legs. Tang's mother wouldn't have dared to think of this before. Those people are rich and powerful. How can their family be their opponents? They suffered a loss and had no other choice but to swallow their anger, but now it is different, with Lin Yi to protect their family. Lin Yi followed Tang's mother and Tang Yun to Tang Zhichen's ward. At this moment, Tang Zhichen was listening to the radio. When he saw Lin Yi, a rare smile appeared on his face, and he was even more surprised to see that his daughter's forehead seemed to be fine. Although Tang Zhichen had not been to Tang Yun's ward after being admitted to the hospital, he knew how serious Tang Yun's injuries were, because before, in front of their house in the shantytown, when the ambulance was put on the stage, he saw his daughter with blood all over her face. "Xiao is here, sit down. Yunayan, is the injury on your head okay?" Tang Zhichen turned off the radio and looked at his daughter in surprise. Chapter 620 Xiao Shu is dying. "Yeah, it's alright," Tang Yun nodded. "It's nothing. Lin Yi said he came to check on your injuries." Okay, Tang Zhichen nodded happily. "How can I cooperate, Uncle Tang?" "Just lie down." Lin Yi waved his hand, signaling Tang Zhichen to stay put. He walked over and examined Tang Zhichen's injuries. Tang Zhichen's broken legs should heal quickly with the help of traditional Chinese medicine, but his old nerve problems remained. This meant that even if Tang Zhichen's legs healed, he would still limp. Lin Yi frowned slightly. This was not a good sign. Even if Tang Zhichen could stand up and try recovery exercises, if the nerve problems caused him to limp, it would likely affect his legs' recovery. If he continued walking like this, his newly healed legs might become deformed. Even if the nerves were healed, the difference in the degree of recovery would still make one leg longer than the other, and he would inevitably limp. "What's wrong, Lin Yi? Is there something wrong with my dad's illness?" Tang Yun had been watching Lin Yi's expression. When she saw him frown, her heart skipped a beat, and she asked instinctively. "A little bit of a problem." Lin Yi didn't hide his thoughts, explaining them to Tang Yun and Tang's mother. He didn't hide them from Tang Zhichen, as there was no need. "Then what should we do?" Tang Yun was a little anxious. However, Tang Zhichen and his mother didn't seem too worried. Tang Zhichen actually laughed. "It's okay to be lame. Being able to stand up is good. It's better than lying in bed, right?" It's no wonder Tang Zhichen was so open-minded. In fact, He had been lying in bed for so long. As long as he could stand up, why would he care if he was lame? Being lame is much better than being paralyzed, right? Tang's mother felt the same way. She didn't mind Tang Zhichen being paralyzed, so what if he was lame? Originally, I wanted to wait until the college entrance exam was over, so you and I could go back to see my old man, and then bring back the nerve-stimulating drugs. But now it seems we're running out of time, Lin Yi said. That's okay, I'll have someone deliver it. How can I do that? Tang Zhichen was somewhat flattered. Lin Yi was bothering others with his affairs. It's nothing. Lin Yi was thinking of Ergaudin, his childhood playmate. It had been ages since he'd seen him, and it wasn't harvest time yet, so he should have time. Dad, Lin Yi said so it's settled. Seeing her father about to say something, Tang Yun spoke first, finalizing the matter. Tang Yun naturally didn't want her father to become lame in the future. Even if she owed Lin Yi a favor, it was her own debt. After all, she owed Lin Yi so much, so Tang Yun didn't care much anymore. After this little misunderstanding, Tang Yun had finally moved on. Paying a debt of gratitude with flesh and blood is a good way to repay a debt. Tang Yun had already decided to follow Lin Yi, so whatever he wanted from now on, he could just do whatever he wanted. Thinking of this, Tang Yun couldn't help but blush. Yes, old Tang, Xiao Yi's intentions are good, so don't say anything. Tang's mother didn't care about her husband's lameness, but if there was hope for recovery, she naturally hoped he could be normal. Lin Yi took out his phone, intending to call her Gudan, but just as he did, it rang. Lin Yi glanced at the caller ID and saw it was Chu Mengyao. Chen Yushu's belly was so full from eating that she lay on the sofa, unable to get up. At first, it was a little uncomfortable but bearable, but after a while, it became increasingly uncomfortable. Sister Yao, my stomach hurts so much. Why is it so big? Am I pregnant? I'm so sick. Chen Yushu lay on the sofa, moaning weakly. Oh my god, how can you get pregnant by eating? Don't talk nonsense. Chu Mengyao was watching TV. When she heard Xiaoshu moaning, she turned off the TV and walked over. Sister Yao, you can get pregnant by drinking soda, why can't I get pregnant by eating? There might be wriggly saliva in it, Chen Yushu said with a pale face. Okay, stop it. Chu Mengyao was embarrassed when the past was brought up. Did you eat too much? Do you want to go to the toilet? I haven't digested it yet. How can I go? It's so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. Chen Yushu felt that her stomach was bloated and nauseous. In short, she felt very uncomfortable. Wait a minute, I'll go find some stomach strengthening and digestion promoting tablets and give them to you. Chu Mengyao felt a little regretful when she saw Chen Yushu so uncomfortable. She shouldn't have acted impulsively and hurt Xiaoshu. She didn't know whether people could die from eating too much, but since there is a saying die from eating too much, it is probably possible to die from eating too much, right? Thinking of this, Chu Mengyao became more anxious and hurried to find medicine. No, I can't eat it. I'll explode if I eat more. How could Chen Yushu swallow the medicine? Then what should I do? Chu Mengyao was also at a loss. I'm going to die again. I don't want to die. Chen Yushu felt so unlucky. She almost died once 2 days ago, and she was going to die again today. Sister Yao, why did you want to harm me? I didn't mean to compete with you for Brother Arrow. I said I would be your concubine in the future, and you still want to get rid of me. Why would I harm you? Chu Mengyao was immediately amused and helpless by Chen Yushu's words. I don't like Lin Yi. Why should I compete with you? I just didn't let him bring food to Tang Yun, so I'll let you eat it all. By the way, Lin Yi, you, hold on for a while, I'll call Lin Yi. After hearing what Chen Yushu said, Chu Mengyao suddenly thought of Lin Yi. How could she forget about him? He should have a way to save Xiaoshu, right? Lin Yi answered Chu Mengyao's call, and the eldest lady's cry came from the other end. Lin Yi, where are you? Come back quickly, Xiaoshu is dying. Huh? What did you say? Lin Yi was stunned. Xiaoshu is dying? What does that mean? Xiaoshu ate too much and feels uncomfortable and is about to die. Come back soon, Chu Mengyao said anxiously. Okay, I'll go back now. Lin Yi sighed helplessly and hung up the phone. Feeling uncomfortable? Then why did he eat so much just now? He even ate Tang Yun's portion. What's wrong? Although Tang Yun didn't hear what Lin Yi said on the phone, she heard that Lin Yi was going back, so she couldn't help asking, are you leaving now? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, It means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 621 Sister Yao wants to assassinate me. Well, Chen Yushu ate too much? I heard she's dying of overeating. I'm going back to check on her. Lin Yi felt a little embarrassed talking about this. What kind of thing was this? In this day and age, people still die from overeating? Huh? Tang Yun covered her mouth in surprise, finding it a bit unbelievable. Eat too much? Died of overeating? Yeah, but it's not impossible for Chen Yushu to have that happen. Lin Yi gave a wry smile. I'm going back first. By the way, I've already made arrangements with Director Qin at the hospital. You should stay here for now, otherwise you won't have a place to stay after you're discharged. Director Qin knew Lin Yi and knew of his special relationship with Guanzuman. So, since Lin Yi had said so, even if Tang Yun and Tang Zhichen were discharged, they could still stay at the hospital. After all, it wasn't like Lin Yi wouldn't pay, he'd already paid a large deposit, so Director Qin had no reason to chase them away. The mention of this bothered Tang's mother. She'd been discussing with Tang Zhichen this morning about buying a house first. The houses in the shanty town had all collapsed and were uninhabitable. Fortunately, there wasn't anything valuable inside. The TV and refrigerator were bought when they got married. Over a decade old, they were already worn out, so if they were smashed, they were broken. As for furniture, there was even less. However, since Lin Yi had arranged to stay in the hospital first, there was no need to rush into buying a house. He should at least observe the market before making a decision. He shouldn't just buy blindly. Although Lin Yi found it unbelievable that Chen Yushu was about to die of starvation, he drove quickly back to the villa complex. Upon entering, he saw Chen Yushu lying on the sofa, groaning non-stop. Chu Mengyao stood by, holding her hand and comforting her. Sister Yao, I really can't hold on any longer. Why hasn't Brother Arrow come yet? Chen Yushu asked tearfully. It's almost time. That idiot Lin Yi, he's stuck with Tang Yun and won't leave. He doesn't know what's so good about Tang Yun. She's far inferior to our Xiaoshu, Chu Mengyao complained. Cough cough, Lin Yi suddenly broke out in a sweat and coughed twice. Although Tang Yun wasn't inferior to Chen Yushu, the key was Chen Yushu's identity. Would Lin Yi dare to touch her? She was the eldest lady's best friend. How could they compare like that? Lin Yi thought to himself, if you were to give Chen Yushu to me as my wife, I would definitely keep her with me every day. Chu Mengyao was embarrassed when she heard Lin Yi's cough. Turning around and seeing Lin Yi coming back, she said, you still remember to come back? Look, Xiaoshu is almost dying. Go save her. Lin Yi glanced at Chen Yushu on the sofa and was relieved to find that she was still alive. However, seeing Chen Yushu's bulging stomach, he couldn't help but frown again, wondering if the bloated stomach had perforated. Brother Arrow, you're finally back. Woo woo, Chen Yushu burst into tears. I feel so bad. Sister Yao wants to assassinate me. No one wants to assassinate you. Are you hallucinating? Lin Yi turned his head and looked at Chu Mengyao in confusion. Why did Chen Yushu say that she wanted to assassinate her? Could it be that Chen Yushu had eaten something poisonous and was hallucinating? Chu Mengyao blushed. Hurry up and save her. Don't ask so many questions, okay? Lin Yi nodded, picked up Chen Yushu, and turned her over, her head facing down, toward the sofa. Then he said to Chu Mengyao, help me open her mouth. Don't close it. Oh, okay. Chu Mengyao didn't dare to delay and quickly reached up to pry Chen Yushu's mouth open. Chen Yushu cried out in pain. She thought to herself, why are you and Brother Arrow trying to kill me? You're prying my mouth open, trying to pull out my tongue? But she couldn't speak. What are you screaming about? Are you screaming for sex? Chu Mengyao thought Chen Yushu's voice sounded a bit like something else and couldn't help but glare at her. With her mouth held shut, Chen Yushu couldn't speak, not even a single syllable besides bear with it, it will be over soon. Lin Yi took a pair of chopsticks from the kitchen, and then went to gently tease Chen Yushu's throat. Chen Yushu felt nauseous, and was finally vomited by Lin Yi with a wow. The lunch meal was basically not digested, and she vomited directly on the ground, but Chu Mengyao's hands were covered with it. But at this time, the eldest lady did not feel disgusted. Instead, she looked at Chen Yushu with concern. Xiaoshu, how do you feel? Once Chen Yushu started vomiting, she couldn't stop. She vomited directly, and almost vomited out everything in her stomach. Wow, it's so uncomfortable, but it's much better, Chen Yushu finally said after she had vomited almost everything. That's good, I was scared to death. Chu Mengyao was also scared. What if Xiaoshu really died of vomiting? It's not a big deal, she's just full. Lin Yi shook his head. You can't eat that much? Why do you want to eat? Sister Yao asked me to eat it. Chen Yushu felt aggrieved. She almost died. How could she not feel aggrieved? Why did you ask her to eat so much? Lin Yi was a little angry. This was no joke. Fortunately, nothing happened. Chu Mengyao didn't expect Lin Yi to dare to question her with a fierce face, but Chu Mengyao was in the wrong and didn't dare to refute. Sister Yao didn't want you to bring food to Tang Yun, so she asked me to eat it all, Chen Yushu said truthfully. Lin Yi shook his head speechlessly. The situation was similar to what he had expected. These two girls are too noisy. Xiaoshu, stop talking. Chu Mengyao was a little embarrassed. You are very weak. Go back to your room and rest. Oh, after hearing what Chu Mengyao said, Chen Yushu really felt a little weak all over, so she said, I can't walk. Sister Yao, Chu Mengyao wanted to take Chen Yushu upstairs, but she couldn't carry her on her back. After hesitating for a while, she could only say to Lin Yi, carry her upstairs. Go upstairs? Can I go upstairs? Lin Yi pointed in the direction of the upstairs. When they first came, Chu Mengyao told him very firmly that he could not go upstairs. This time is an exception, I allow it, Chu Mengyao said, only this time. There is the mighty general. Lin Yi glanced at the stairs. The mighty general was still squatting there. Lin Yi didn't want Chu Mengyao to find out that he was not afraid of the mighty general, otherwise he would not be able to explain what was lost upstairs in the future. Don't think I don't know that you are not afraid of it, Chu Mengyao snorted. Hurry up and carry Xiaoshu upstairs. Chapter 622 Mr. Chu. Huh? Oh, Lin Yi was surprised that Chu Mengyao already knew that General Weiwu no longer held any power over her. So why did she still have him squat at the stairwell every day? Lin Yi shook his head. In reality, Chu Mengyao had General Weiwu squatting at the stairwell to protect her from thieves, not Lin Yi. While it had worked initially, it was no longer necessary. Chu Mengyao had seen through Lin Yi. She wouldn't even bring him upstairs, even asking him to. She even hoped he'd sneak up to spy on her, at least proving how attractive he and Xiaoshu were. But Lin Yi refused to go upstairs. While his intentions were somewhat questionable, that was the way a young lady could be when she was paranoid. Why couldn't she be compared to Tang Yun? The young lady's pride was severely damaged. This wasn't the first time Lin Yi had carried Chen Yushu, and he felt no burden. He simply carried her upstairs. As they passed General Weiwu, he ducked aside without even a murmur, his head lowered, not daring to even look at Lin Yi. Chu Mengyao snorted and glared at Lin Yi. But she couldn't understand why Lin Yi wasn't afraid of General Weiwu. In fact, Chu Mengyao had become suspicious the previous time she'd sent Lin Yi upstairs to connect the network cable. She suspected General Weiwu had no intimidating power over Lin Yi, otherwise, how could Lin Yi have gotten up to the second floor? It wasn't until a few days ago, when Lin Yi brought General Weiwu with him and asked him to look for him, that Chu Mengyao's suspicions were amplified. General Weiwu couldn't even get his father to control him, except for Uncle Fu. So how had Lin Yi gotten him up the mountain? Uncle Fu hadn't come up with him, leaving Lin Yi alone in the cave. And General Weiwu was clearly frightened by Lin Yi, seeking the protection of his master. Chu Mengyao could see that. Lin Yi gave a dry laugh and didn't answer, quickly going upstairs. We're on the second floor now, don't look around. Follow me. Chu Mengyao led the way, guiding Lin Yi to the door of a room. Then, she opened the door and let Lin Yi carry Chen Yushu inside. The pink bedroom was very cozy, with many pretty little flowers on the wall and some stuffed toys on the bedside. Lin Yi put Chen Yushu on the bed, but before he had time to admire her carefully, he was kicked out of the room by Chu Mengyao. Lin Yi shrugged his shoulders, feeling a little regretful, but there were probably not many people who could enter the young lady's boudoir, right? He was also someone the young lady trusted. Since Chu Mengyao didn't let him look around, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't take the initiative to peek. After leaving Chu Mengyao's room, he went downstairs, cleaned up the pile of filth that Chen Yushu had vomited on the side of the sofa, and returned to his room. Lin Yi first called Old Man Lin to report his movements in Songshan City, but of course there was also good news, that is, he had upgraded and was promoted to the early stage of the Xuan level. The old man maintained his indifferent attitude, neither congratulating nor saying much. He simply told Lin Yi to stay at the Chu family. However, at the end, he said something meaningful to Lin Yi: if you get a chance, go and meet the old man of the Chu family. The old man of the Chu family? Uncle Chu? Or Uncle Chu's father? Lin Yi asked, slightly surprised. His father. The old man didn't play dumb with Lin Yi. If there's a chance, meet him. If there isn't, don't try to create one. There will always be a chance, huh? Lin Yi felt so uncomfortable listening to the old man's words. Was it a Zen saying? Was there a hidden wit in it? But Lin Yi took it to heart. Nothing. Old man Lin smiled faintly. Boy, you called me out of the blue. It's not just to report something, is it? I remember you didn't have any important things to report to me. Indeed, there's something, Lin Yi said. Old man, do you still have that nerve-stimulating liquid I used to practice martial arts? It seems there's still some left. What, do you need it? Old man Lin asked. Yes, I do. 2 of my friends have some nerve problems, Lin Yi said, or you can give me the formula and I can mix some myself. Lin Yi had never studied this nerve-stimulating liquid before because it was of no use to him and was relatively difficult to prepare. If you're preparing the medicine, I'm afraid some of the herbs aren't easy to get. I grew them myself, Old man Lin said. I have some finished liquid medicine here. If you need it, come pick it up. I'll have Ergudan deliver it, Lin Yi said. I'll call him later. Sure. Old man Lin wasn't stingy with this kind of stuff. It was insignificant stuff to begin with. When he was training Lin Yi, he'd prepared a whole vat of it. Lin Yi had considered mailing the liquid medicine, but the matter was serious, and he was worried about any problems along the way. It was better to have Ergudan deliver it. It just so happened that Lin Yi missed his childhood friend. For years, Lin Yi had been homeless, constantly on missions, with no place to call. Every time he went back, Ergudan would listen eagerly as Lin Yi talked about the world outside. He also wished he could go out there, but unfortunately, Lin Yi never had the chance to take him out. Ergudan's family was very poor. In fact, the village where Lin Yi lived wasn't wealthy at all. The only family considered wealthy was the village chiefs, who owned a fish pond. Then there was Widow Wang's family at the village entrance, which had a snack bar and grocery store. And then there was Lin Yi's family. Of course, the Lin Yi family's livelihood depended on the money Lin Yi earned weaving straw hats and sandals. Lin Yi was nimble and quick. While many other villagers also did the same work, Lin Yi's daily output was 4 or 5 times greater than theirs. How could he not be wealthy? In reality, what he considered wealthy meant he could afford a laptop and eat at Widow Wang's snack bar. Lin Yi didn't know where the money from his missions had gone over the years, but the old man didn't say, and neither did Lin Yi. Their relationship was closer than father and son, so Lin Yi didn't dwell on it. Comparatively speaking, Ergudan's family was very poor. The family relied on farming for a living, and they didn't even have a telephone. Ergudan had always wanted to get out of the mountains and see the outside world, and Lin Yi had promised him that he would take him out to see the world if he had the chance. Now that Lin Yi had settled in Songshan City and had a stable and decent identity, he naturally remembered his previous promise. Chapter 623 Childhood Playmate. Lin Yi called Widow Wang's house at the entrance of the village. Hello? Xixing village, who are you looking for? Widow Wang's country-flavored Mandarin came from the other end of the phone. Aunt Wang, this is Zai from Old Lin's family. Can you help me call Ergudan? Lin Yi said. Ah. It's Zai from Old Lin's family. Wait, I'll go call him right away. Widow Wang agreed and put down the phone. Xixing village is not big, and almost everyone knows each other. Besides, everyone buys things at Widow Wang's house, so Widow Wang is happy for everyone to come to her place to answer the phone. Next to Widow Wang's grocery store is the village office, which has a loudspeaker. In the village, you basically have to shout to find someone, and the loudspeaker can wake you up even if you are asleep. Ergudan, this is your Aunt Wang, come to answer the phone. Widow Wang shouted through the loudspeaker and returned to the grocery store. Soon, a man as strong as an ox ran into the grocery store. It was Ergudan, standing at 1.85 meters tall, towering like a wall at the entrance. Auntie Wang, is my number. Ergudan had run from his fields, a kilometer away, without blushing or even panting, a sign of exceptional physical fitness. It's Xiaowei calling. Pick up the phone quickly. Long-distance calls are expensive, Widow Wang said, pointing to the phone on the table. Brother Lin Yi, Ergauden rubbed his hands excitedly upon hearing Lin Yi's name and answered the phone. It's Ergauden. Hey, Ergauden, Lin Yi smiled. Is everything busy back home? Not bad. We planted the seeds a while ago and are now weeding and fertilizing. We're just waiting for the autumn harvest. I think we'll have a good crop this year, Ergauden said. Good. Do you have a girlfriend? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Who would like me? Ergauden smiled innocently. My family is so poor, and I'm not good looking, so I'll be a bachelor in this life. Then if you have nothing to do recently, come to my house. My old man has my address. You can bring some things for me. It's a good opportunity for me to see the world, Lin Yi said with a smile. Ah. Really? That's great. Ergauden was very happy when he heard Lin Yi asked him to go to the big city to see the world. Then I will leave after I finish the farm work at home these days. But brother Lin Yi, my family hasn't harvested yet, so we don't have much money for the trip. Ergauden and Lin Yi have been friends since they were young, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not shameful to have no money. Haha, my old man will help you with the travel expenses. If you need anything, just let me know before you leave. Lin Yi smiled. Don't be polite with me, of course, you're my brother, Lin Yi, so of course I won't be polite. Ergauden was a stubborn person, and had been like this since he was a child. Besides his father's words, he only listened to Lin Yi. So in Ergauden's eyes, Lin Yi and his father were similar, and it was only natural that Lin Yi gave him money. How? Lin Yi laughed. It had been ages since he had played with Ergauden. The days of fishing and shrimping together as children were long gone. Even after he hung up the phone, Lin Yi was still lost in memories. If he could say, the happiest times in his life would be three. The first was his childhood. Back then, before he went on missions, he was still at home studying medicine with his old man, strengthening his body. The daily workload wasn't very heavy, so in his free time, he and Ergauden would fish and shrimp together, living a carefree life. The second period of time was spent in the training camp with several of his teammates. He was the captain of the team, and he led the other 6 teammates to overcome many difficulties and finally stand out. Although those years were hard and tiring, they were also the most fulfilling. Although it seemed tense, there was no real danger when performing a mission. There was only trust and friendship between teammates. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, where are you now? Are you doing well? Are you also busy performing missions around the world? Lin Yi shook his head. Since leaving the training camp, his teammates went their separate ways and never met again. The third happy time is the time that Lin Yi is currently in Songshan City. Although the enemy is unknown and there are always some small troubles, Lin Yi really feels happy with this kind of free life and hopes it will never end. Of course, in addition to these 3 happy times, Lin Yi also experienced many painful ones. One of them wasn't exactly painful, at least it was a mixture of pain and joy. It was also a rare time. It was during that time that he met Yang Huaijin, his fellow soldiers from Pengzhan, and Xiaoning. It was precisely because of Xiaoning that Lin Yi forcibly erased this time from his memory. It was also the reason why Lin Yi chose to escape when he first met Yang Huaijin. To this day, Lin Yi still doesn't know why he rejected Xiaoning so decisively. Was it really because of the overwhelming power behind her, or was it because he couldn't provide her with a stable life? Back then, Lin Yi had never imagined retiring, let alone retiring at such a young age. Lin Yi didn't know what the old man was thinking. He suddenly sent him to Songshan City on a special mission that, if completed, would provide him with a lifetime of income. It was a one-time deal. Song Lingshan flipped through the case files on the table. The kidney harvesting gang seemed to have calmed down a lot recently. Since the last transfer station was destroyed, the gang seemed to be much more cautious, but they definitely hadn't stopped committing crimes, because they had shifted their targets and locations to the suburban towns. This week, 2 widowed farmers had been murdered. The modus operandi was the same, but the locations were more erratic. One of the 2 victims was from Gaozi village in the east of the city, and the other was from Shenbu village in the west of the city. One was in the east, and the other was in the west, dozens of kilometers apart, with no pattern at all. Even if police were sent out to stake out, it would be impossible to fill the hundreds of villages around the city with police. Not to mention whether the police force was enough. Even if it was enough, The entire police station couldn't stop operating and all be used to stake out the members of the kidney harvesting gang, right? Song Lingshan felt like a coward. Although she had solved several major cases since taking office and received unanimous praise and recognition from provincial and municipal leaders, she knew exactly what had happened and how she had solved the cases, but she was too embarrassed to speak out. Even when others praised her, Song Lingshan blushed. She wasn't one to lie or brag, so she felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't explain it. Chapter 624 Song Lingshan's Pursuer. It wasn't that Song Lingshan was a coward, but rather she was lucky. She'd just arrived, and she was immediately faced with a barrage of major cases. Back when Yang Huaijin was the head of the criminal investigation team, he dealt with some criminal gangs, too, but they were organized crime groups, bag snatchers, and thief rings. While those cases were significant, they weren't nearly as complex to solve as they are now. And Song Lingshan, a retired Special Forces soldier, had all her skills but nowhere to put them to use. How could she not be frustrated? When she returned from her military service, Song Lingshan was incredibly ambitious. Her fantasy of confronting criminals and taking them down in one fell swoop never materialized. In reality, there were opportunities to engage in such encounters, and quite a few, but how many could Song Lingshan encounter alone? Even if she could, how many were truly formidable? How many of them possessed the strength of a yellow rank? Song Lingshan was a mid-level Wang rank master, a leader among the younger generation even within the Song family, one of the 4 great aristocratic families. If a criminal possessed Wang rank strength, he wouldn't have needed to become one. He could earn plenty as a bodyguard for a wealthy individual, so why bother robbing? It was a real headache. Why were these criminals constantly coming and going? Why did they choose to cause trouble in Songshan City? Before the kidney harvesting ring emerged, an underground organ trade existed in Songshan City. However, because it was a clandestine transaction, with agreed-upon prices, no one reported it to the police. As long as the actions weren't excessive, Song Lingshan wouldn't intervene, as she couldn't control it. But arresting someone for kidney harvesting, like now, was unacceptable. However, these criminals seemed to have a well-organized system, making it difficult to eradicate them completely. Dismantling just one operation was already a struggle. The key issue is that these people have ready-made doctors and operating tables, eliminating the need for formal medical systems or clinics to perform surgeries. Furthermore, the kidneys aren't sold locally. At least, Song Lingshan hasn't found a single kidney transplant patient who purchased a kidney from this ring. Of course, some do purchase kidneys on the black market, but these are often purchased through illegal intermediaries who privately negotiate prices with the donors, and then undergo the transplants at regular hospitals. The intermediaries typically take a commission of only 10,000 or 20,000 yuan. Several of these illegal intermediaries have been busted, but they were minor players who offered no assistance in the investigation. Ring, Song Lingshan's phone rang. Unlike the other young men and women who had a custom ringtone set to her phone, it was a standard default, a fitting trait for her profession and personality, a more reserved one. Hello, I'm Song Lingshan from the Criminal Investigation Brigade. Song Lingshan answered the phone, speaking out of habit. The caller ID showed an unfamiliar number, and she didn't have a phone book. Lingshan, a somewhat rough male voice came from the other end of the line. This is Chen Yushan. Oh? Chen Yushan. Song Lingshan was slightly taken aback, a subtle frown on her face. What's going on? Hearing the coldness in Song Lingshan's tone, Chen Yushan couldn't help but smile wryly. Lingshan. I'm going back to Songshan City tomorrow for a mission. Would you mind having dinner together? I'm busy with a case, so I probably don't have time. Song Lingshan flatly declined Chen Yushan's offer. Is that so? Chen Yushan sighed. A meeting would be okay, right? I do have a case. Is there something important you want to talk to me about? If not, I don't want to delay my work, Song Lingshan said calmly. Isn't it possible to meet for nothing? As old friends, childhood sweethearts, you wouldn't be so inconsiderate, would you? Chen Yushan said with a hint of resignation. Chen Yushan, please be careful with your wording. There's nothing wrong with being old friends, but there's no way you can talk about being childhood sweethearts. Song Lingshan corrected Chen Yushan's wording. Chen Yushan, I know what you're thinking. It's not that I don't give you a chance. It's you who's not motivated enough. Who can you blame, Lingshan? Aren't you making things difficult for me? You're considered a leader among the younger generation in the aristocratic families. You're already in the middle stage of the yellow rank, and I've just broken through the yellow rank. When will I be able to catch up with you? Chen Yushan said with a wry smile. You know my personality, Song Lingshan. I've been competitive since I was a child. My man must be stronger than me. Otherwise, do you think his life will be easy? Song Lingshan couldn't help but feel a little proud when she said this. Chen Yushan, I gave you a chance to challenge me, but you didn't seize it. I even told you that before I had a boyfriend, you could challenge me at any time. If you're challenging me this time, I can meet you, but if not, I'm sorry, I don't have the time. Lingshan, as far as I know, among the aristocratic families, besides the Yu family and some unknown factors, Wu Chenshin, a younger generation of the Wu family, is also at the early yellow rank. Are there no stronger ones than you, so you'll never marry? Chen Yushan couldn't help but ask in return. How do you know there are no other masters besides the aristocratic families? Song Lingshan asked in return. For some reason, Song Lingshan suddenly thought of Lin Yi. Who knows where this guy got his kung fu from? How can he be so powerful? It seemed like she was no match for him, and she had to humble herself and pretend to be a brain-dead girl in front of him. How abominable it was. However, she was still controlled by him and could not resist. Is this still her character? She was Song Lingshan, the eldest daughter of the Song family, and she was actually taken advantage of by him? It was so embarrassing. So, Song Lingshan decided not to think about him. She must not think about him, because she would get angry if she thought about it. Chen Yushan was speechless for a moment. He didn't dare to say that there were no masters outside of the aristocratic families, because he also knew that there really were masters outside of the aristocratic families. But since Song Lingshan didn't want to see him, there was no point in saying anything. Letting Chen Yushan challenge Song Lingshan now would undoubtedly be like asking for a beating, and Chen Yushan couldn't afford to lose face. Chen Yushan sighed. He'd been in the special forces for 2 years, undergoing brutal training, only just beginning to reach the yellow rank. Then, he was transferred to the Armed Police Border Brigade, where he spent countless hours battling cross-border drug traffickers. Only then did he finally break through the yellow rank and reach the early yellow rank. To most people, this wouldn't be easy, but Chen Yushan knew he wasn't even on the same level as Song Lingshan, who was at the mid-yellow rank. Chapter 625 Chen Yushu's brother. By the way, I want to tell you some very unfortunate news. I think I've reached the barrier of the late yellow rank, and I'm looking for an opportunity to break through. Song Lingshan said calmly, if you want to pursue me, then keep trying. Of course, you can also give up, because I don't have strong feelings for you. Chen Yushan almost dropped the phone when he heard Song Lingshan's words. Late yellow rank? Song Lingshan is so amazing? The Song family actually produced such a genius? Chen Yushan gasped. If Song Lingshan could advance to the late yellow rank at such a young age, the Song family's status would surely soar, and Song Lingshan's marriage would surely be even more important. It's hard to say what kind of marriage the old man of the Song family would arrange for her. Perhaps, if they knew Song Lingshan had broken through to the late yellow rank, everyone in the Yu family would come to contact her. Okay, I'll try my best. Chen Yushan was really a little desperate this time. The gap was really huge. There was no point in him being unconvinced. I'm busy now. Hang up. Song Lingshan said nothing more, ending the call directly. Deep down, she had no feelings for Chen Yushan, so she deliberately said she was aiming to break through to the late yellow rank. In reality, she had just reached the peak of the mid-yellow rank, still some distance from the late stage. Song Lingshan said this because she wanted Chen Yushan to give up. She disliked Chen Yushan's personality. While she herself was assertive, she preferred stronger men. Only with such men would she be willing to have sex with them, otherwise, she would feel uncomfortable. After Chen Yushan's attempts to date Song Lingshan were unsuccessful, he considered a few of his old friends, and Xuanyuan and Suitor, 2 of the 4 young masters of Songshan. The 4th of the 4 young masters wasn't often in Songshan city, so he rarely saw anyone. And Xuanyuan and Suitor had previously called, offering to host a welcome banquet for him, but Chen Yushan didn't immediately agree. Instead, he inquired about Song Lingshan's availability. Chen Yushan's former status as one of the 4 young masters of Songshan was now nothing more than a joke. A few brats, relying on their family's influence and self-righteousness, were nothing to be proud of. Since he had chosen a different path, he was destined to grow further and further away from Xuanyuan, Suitor, and the others. Although they had once been playmates, They had become more distant, no longer sharing the same drinking and playful energy. Chen Yushan was now much more composed than before, forced to embark on this path only by Song Lingshan's refusal. It had been difficult at first, but now he realized that his choice was the right one. Only what he was doing now could truly be called a man of integrity. The former status as one of the 4 young masters of Songshan, while impressive, was of no use. All that empty reputation wasn't his own, and even if it was just infamy. It seemed the gap between him and Song Lingshan was widening. Chen Yushan gave a wry smile. He knew in his heart that Song Lingshan's personality was untouchable by ordinary men, and in terms of sheer skill, he was no match. Even if, under family pressure, she reluctantly stayed with him, Chen Yushan believed he would never be able to suppress Song Lingshan. Even as Song Lingshan had said, even having sex wouldn't be possible. His cell phone rang, and Chen Yushan glanced. It was Xuanyuan. He had already refused his invitation to a banquet yesterday, but he hadn't expected him to be so persistent. Of course, Chen Yushan knew exactly what Xuanyuan was thinking. If he was inviting him to a banquet, he would have to bring his sister, Chen Yushu. And if his sister went, Chu Mengyao would naturally follow suit. As Chu Mengyao's suitor, Xuanyuan would naturally seize the opportunity and offer his attention to her. He was just a stepping stone. Chen Yushan was also well aware that his life was drifting further and further from Xuanyuan's. They were no longer on the same path, and their current relationship was far from close. "Hello, second brother," Chen Yushan answered the phone, still affectionately addressing Xuanyuan as second brother. He was the second of the 4 young masters of Songshan. "Brother Don, how's it going? Have you arranged everything? Do you have time tomorrow night? Could you please come and meet us brothers at the starlight glittering palace?" Xuanyuan asked with a smile. Chen Yushan's reason for declining yesterday was that he didn't know his schedule yet and wasn't sure if he'd have time. "Haha, fine. Tomorrow night, then. We'll get in touch then," Chen Yushan agreed. Since he had no hope of getting Song Lingshan, he accepted Xuanyuan's invitation. "Okay, see you then," Xuanyuan was overjoyed. As long as he had Chen Yushan, he wouldn't have to worry about Chen Yushu not coming. And if Chen Yushu came, how could Chu Mengyao not come? He had never had a chance to approach Chu Mengyao, and Chu Mengyao hadn't wanted to give him that opportunity. But now, he could legitimately invite both of them. "How is it going, brethren? Is it done?" Su Taizao asked anxiously from the sidelines. "It's done. We'll go visit Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu now and have them join us for the banquet tomorrow night," Xuanyuan smiled and nodded. "Brethren, this is a good opportunity. I think you should take this chance to confess your love to Chu Mengyao," Su Taizao said. "Opportunities are fleeting, that's true. Do you have any good ideas? It wouldn't be good if I confessed rashly, right?" Xuanyuan frowned. "But you're right. Chu Mengyao's attitude towards me seems a little confusing. She's not as enthusiastic as when we first met at the amusement park. Is she blaming me for not pursuing her hard enough? How about I prepare some flowers and propose to her tomorrow?" "It's possible," Su Taizao said, "but forget about proposing with flowers. Girls all love to save face. You can't pursue her without any expression, right? But you can't express it too intensely and embarrass her. Just like in many cases, although a girl likes you to pursue her, she doesn't want you to push her too hard. What she enjoys is the process of you pursuing her, not to agree to you all at once. So those tricks like kneeling down to woo are simply forcing others to make a decision. As long as the girl doesn't like him very much, she must refuse. Even if she likes him a little, she can't agree all at once." "You are right," Xuanyuan also made this point. He was not sure whether Chu Mengyao had a good impression of him or not. Even if she did, it would definitely not reach the point of liking him very much. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.